The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Just after 10 a.m. today, Woody Johnson did something he's never done as the Jets owner. He fired a coach in season. Saleh is out. Ulbrich is in. Woody spoke about the decision. So did Jeff Ulbrich. We'll talk about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show, and it starts right now. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season. Joe, I am not messing with you with what I'm about to say. Adam Schefter is reporting the Jets have just fired Robert Saleh.
Wow!
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Show number 2 on the day. If you missed the first one, when Joe Beningo was live in his weekly spot on the show, we got the news that Robert Saleh was fired by the New York Jets. Saleh is out. Jeff Ulbrich has been named the interim head coach. We'll hear from Woody Johnson in this show. We will hear from Jeff Ulbrich in this show. But I want to open it up and get into just some more thoughts now that we are several hours removed from this bombshell. And it is a bombshell. Once again, Woody Johnson's owned this team for 25 years. It's the first time he's done this. For the Jets to do this now, it speaks volumes about how they feel about their team. Woody Johnson, during the conference call earlier with the beat reporters, was gushing about the roster. I even pulled one of the quotes here. Quote, "This is one of the most talented teams that has ever been assembled by the Jets. I want to give the team the most opportunity to win this season. I feel like we had to go in a different direction." Woody was asked during this call, what specifically over the last 2 games disturbed you to make this move? And he said it had a lot more to do with the body of work for Saleh rather than the last 2 games. This was coming. You go back to the Denver loss and the comments that were made afterwards from Aaron Rodgers about accountability. Fast forward to the debacle against the Vikings on Sunday, and Quincy Williams is using that word, accountability. It is clear this locker room was potentially on the verge of turning on the coach if they hadn't done so already. Read through the tea leaves. Ultimately, the Jets are making this move, and Woody is talking about how this is the most talented team he's ever had as the owner, which, 1, bodes well for Joe Douglas's future, depending on how this year goes, and 2, sends a stark message to everyone. How we have played is not good enough, and it's not. This team is better than 2 and 3. People could point to the defense still being good and Saleh being a defensive guy. I get it. I'm not trying to minimize his value there. He does deserve credit for that. I'd be the first to tell you that. But it's not good enough with the penalties. It's not good enough with the lack of accountability, these slow starts. There are too many things you could point to that is a bad look for this head coach. And this most recent loss in London, where Woody Johnson is the former UK ambassador, was the final straw. Down 17-0 to Sam Darnold after you lost to Bo Nix the previous week, it was enough. I thought Robert Saleh would get the Bills game at home to turn it around, or this could happen. Woody Johnson didn't wait. Robert Saleh and his team, it just felt like they were unprepared too often. And he lost me after the Broncos game. You can't lose that game. The discipline issues continued. The slow starts in these games continued. The lack of accountability. This is from the players saying it. questionable in-game decision-making. I mean, there's a lot here with Saleh that wasn't good enough. From the outside looking in, the Jets are getting slammed today. How could you fire Saleh? The defense is good. Rodgers got the coach fired. They weren't watching the last 56 games. Because if you watch this team, you can't sit here and tell me Robert Saleh is a championship coach. I think he's a great guy. He's a good person. I'm not trying to dance on the guy's grave. He's a phenomenal defensive coach. He will be a defensive coordinator in minutes if he wants to this offseason. But it's better to do the move now than wait. If you wait till after you lose to the Bills, you're 2.5 games back in the AFC East. Or you wait till after you're 2-5 if you lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. At that point, have you buried yourself too far where you're not going to be able to get out of it? Did Saleh deserve more than 5 games with Aaron Rodgers? You could argue he did. But I'm also not going to sit here and argue this is somehow the incorrect move. Because if you watch this team, they do have an issue at head coach. And I'm not going to try and sit here and tell you Jeff Ulbrich solves a lot of things. But I think the players feed off the energy of their coach. Willie Colon talked about this on SNY. The coach sets the energy level for the team. How the coach is, players feed off that, personality-wise. Saleh's body language was concerning these last couple games. His answers at the podium were concerning. He didn't feel like a guy who even wanted to be there. And I think Woody finally had enough. And you could say, you listen to the fans, you're going to be sitting with the fans in regards to Woody. But the bottom line is this. I don't think Woody's wrong when he talks about the talent level on this team. And we have just seen too much from Saleh here. He got 56 games. In hindsight, yeah, he probably shouldn't have been the head coach to start this year. I understand why they did it. But when nothing changes and you lose like you've lost the last 2, better to do this now than wait. Now, here's the thing. Saleh being canned and then keeping the entire staff, including Nathaniel Hackett, that's not good enough either. Let's make that clear. I still have major concerns with this offensive coordinator. I will tell you this, though. I do not believe Nathaniel Hackett is going to remain the play caller. I don't believe when push comes to shove, Hackett is calling plays Monday night against the Buffalo Bills. Jeff Ulbrich spoke earlier today. I pulled one of his answers. This was Ulbrich being asked specifically about the offensive staff.
Jeff, Woody was talking to us a little bit ago about changes potentially, just changes in general for the offense. I was wondering if you could talk at all about your plans for the play caller, because you have Todd there who's done it. You have Nate who has been doing it. Do you know who's going to call plays for you?
I've got tremendous respect for this offensive staff. I do. Every single guy on it. In the next couple days, in my opinion, these guys are going to be here on Monday Night Football for us, and they're gonna do an amazing job. Saying that, in the next, this has been 4 hours fresh for me to take this role on. Everything will be assessed, the process, the responsibilities, etc. But I do not foresee any changes in the staff.
Hackett will not be fired, but reading through the tea leaves, there could be a change, and I believe there will be a change with who the play caller is. I believe it will be Todd Downing. This summer, Todd Downing called some plays during practice. I noticed it. I confirmed it with someone. This happened. Todd Downing, I believe, will be the Jets play caller. Hackett will not lose the OC title, but there'll be a different voice in Aaron Rodgers' ear. Ulbrich opened the door for that. I think Ulbrich handled himself very well in his first press conference here. When you heard Woody Johnson talk about Ulbrich, he used the word respect a lot. I think we were starting to get to a point where the player's message for Saleh, it was being tuned out. Because even with the talent infusion this team has this year, and Rodgers, of course, actually playing and being out there, it still looked the same. The Jets have been called for the most penalties in the NFL since the last season started, 163. Since 2021, they have committed the most turnovers. Since 2021, they've averaged the fewest points per game. They routinely were undisciplined, came out slow, and lacked accountability. And while Nathaniel Hackett is still a problem, Ulbrich's energy infusion, I do think, is what a team that does have talent needs. So look, we could argue whether or not Saleh got a raw deal, if he should be the only one going here. The bottom line is this: were you winning a championship with Robert Saleh as your head coach? These last 2 weeks, I soured on him. I didn't see it. I think we will see an energy lift from this Jets team. They better come out with their hair on fire Monday night, because that's really what it comes down to, right? You're doing this now because you believe you're a good team and you can save the season. Now you got to go do it. And as of now, just after 6 p.m. Eastern time, here on Tuesday, October 8th, Davante Adams is not a Jet. That has to get done. If you're all in, be all in. Get Davante Adams. That's the move to make. Now, Ulbrich was asked if he's still going to call the defensive plays. He says he's still going through all that. It's up in the air. I would feel comfortable if Ulbrich did it, or if he delegated the responsibility to someone on this staff. The Jets have a very good defensive staff. Saleh deserves credit for that. He hired a very good defensive staff. Tony Oden or Marken Manuel, I think one of them will be the play caller if it's not Ulbrich. Everything is on the table. I like that message from Jeff Ulbrich. It should be. When we talk about fire and energy that this team lacks, I believe that contributes to why they stink in the first quarter of games, in the first half of games. They stink on the road. Here's a little sample on who Jeff Ulbrich is and what he brings to this football team.
Today, hold my fist, make it come to life. You control that. You love this game, demonstrate that shit by how hard you strain. And the passion you play with, guys. When you make a play or your teammate makes a play, celebrate that shit today. Celebrate it. Mind, execute. Don't make shit up. Guys, trust your training. Trust your training. And then fist. In the fourth quarter, these flinch and they tap on us. Remember this, guys. A teammate, I'll die for. My brother, I'll kill for. Let's kill for today. Let's break this down. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Kill on 3. 1, 2, 3. Kill.
This guy played in the league. This guy was a head coach at the Senior Bowl. This guy's got respect from the players. DJ Reed told SNY last year that when Jeff Ulbrich tells you to do something, you do it because you believe him. I think he could rally the troops here. I think he could provide some fire. Doesn't solve all their problems. But I do think it can't be any worse. This team's 2-3. They're too good to be 2-3. They could easily be 4-1 right now. Coaching matters, man. I'm surprised they did this today, but I don't know if you've watched this team how you could sit here and say it's the wrong move. Like, is anyone going to really sit here and try and argue that somehow this wasn't deserved? If you watch these last 2 games and if you watch the Saleh tenure, the whole point of this season was, well, Saleh's never had a quarterback. Now he does. Yet we're still losing 10-9 to Bo Nix at home. We're coming out down 17-0 to Sam Darnold in London. We're leading the NFL in penalties. We're in year 4, man. This is on the coach, who is a great guy and will be a phenomenal defensive coordinator for somebody. Hopefully it's an NFC team. But this had to happen. Had to happen. What we know is this. The Jets season starts Monday night. Very rarely do you do this and you still have a real chance to be a playoff team. The Jets do. A win on Monday, you're in first place. I keep seeing how dysfunctional the Jets are. Same old Jets. They're a laughingstock. You know what would be same old Jets? Allowing Robert Saleh to coach this team to 2-5 and then making this move. Doing it now is actually the right decision. I just didn't think Woody Johnson would do it now. But you can't watch this team and tell me they don't have a fundamental problem with the head coach. And let me make this clear, because I know people are going to say, Hackett's still here, Hackett this, Hackett that. I get it. Just because Hackett remains a problem does not mean that the head coach is not also a problem. Multiple things could be true. Just like saying Zach Wilson is terrible at football and Robert Saleh is a bad head coach. Both things can be true. It's not one or the other. They're not mutually exclusive. Ulbrich, I think, will provide energy this team needs. This team will come out with their hair on fire Monday night against the Bills. They should. And I am very, very interested in seeing who the play caller is, because I really don't believe it's going to be Nathaniel Hackett. I believe it will be Todd Downing. There were some reports coming out that Robert Saleh this week was actually prepared to remove play calling from Hackett, that it was going to go to Downing. And based on Ulbrich's press conference today, that's the feeling I get. But ultimately, you look at where the Jets are right now. You're 2-3 playing for first place on Monday night. Everything should be on the table. I like that answer from Ulbrich. If you're just tuning in, hit the like button. I want to thank the audience. The show we did this morning was almost 5 hours. Joe Beningo was on for his weekly spot on the show, and the Saleh news broke. That show, as of now, has over 44,000 views, which is a record for the Jake Asman YouTube show covering the Jets. And we're just scratching the surface because we have the best fans in sports, and now it's time to win. Period. End of story. Today's Jake Asman show is brought to you by my Patreon. If you want to support me, best way to do so is by signing up and joining the Patreon. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you'll get discounts in the merch store, Discord access, bonus shows not on YouTube, and a whole lot more. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Huge shout out to Jeff Grossman, Lucas, Jay, for being our most recent Patreon members. Todd, also a Patreon subscriber. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. And another reminder, folks, this show's available in audio form. Apple or Spotify, you'll find the Jake Asman Show once the YouTube show is done being live. So check that out wherever you get your podcast. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. The latest on the New York Jets. Let's get to some more comments here from Woody earlier. Woody Johnson made a plea, essentially, to Haason Reddick earlier today. This surprised me a little bit how direct he was, but I don't hate it. So I'm going to play for you right now the full exchange from the conference call that Woody Johnson had with reporters earlier today. All the questions were about Saleh, besides one. There was one Reddick question during what was about a 12-minute conference call with Woody and the reporters. And it was fascinating to hear Woody be very direct about this entire situation. So here it is, Woody on Reddick.
Hi, Woody. Please indulge me for one more.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little bit off base here with apologies, but what is your take on why the Haason Reddick situation has not worked out?
Rich, I would rely on you for this. This is something I've never seen before, and you've got even more years than I have. And I know I don't think any of us have seen anything like this. So I think you have to be part psychologist and part some other to try to figure out what is actually going on. I think, I hope that the young man can come to the team. We'd like to have Assam here. We'd welcome him with open arms. And, I will extend that. And I haven't talked to Jeff, but I think he would feel exactly the same way. So when he gets here, he'll find a very welcome locker room and he'll be able to fit right in, but he's got to get here first. So, Assam, get in your car, drive down 95, and come to the New York Jets, and we can meet you and give you an escort right into the building, and you'll fit right in, and you're going to love it here, and you're going to feel welcome, and you're going to accomplish great things with us.
All right. Get on 95, Hassan. The Jets want you. Look, I like the directness. I don't know if it's going to matter, but I like the directness. I mean, it's one of the dumbest holdouts of all time. You can criticize the Jets for a lot of things. Douglas certainly deserves criticism for this Reddick stuff. I've hammered him for it, and rightfully so. But where we're at right now, this is all on Hassan Reddick being an utter moron. Costing himself nearly $10 million by not showing up to work. He was only due to make 14 all year. Fool. So one non-solid nugget from today. Woody directly urging Hassan Reddick to join the team. Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. Gusbuster hotline's open. Let's get to some super chats here. Barney writes in, new theory, Woody thinks Ulbrich can control Aaron/Hackett monster better than Saleh could. Hope he's right. Let Breece run. I think Woody just saw what we saw too, Barney. This team coming out flat. This team leading the NFL in penalties. This team getting their ass kicked by Sam Darnold after losing to Bo Nix. I'm tired of it, man. I think he was too. When do we get to win as Jet fans? Because they weren't winning with Robert Saleh, unfortunately. We tried to give it a chance. When they were 2-1 after the Pats game, it felt like, okay, here we go. And then with 9 days to get ready, you lose 10-9 to Denver? That was alarming. And we tried to spin it positive. Hey, go beat the Vikings. You know, you're 2-2. You're not 0-4. And then you lose to the Vikings. Oh, now you got to go beat the Bills in your first place. You know what? Why don't we try something different? Because it's not working. Now, you could argue Saleh should have got more than 5 games with Rodgers. I understand that. But you know what? We've seen 56 games of this. Denver's where Saleh lost me personally. Because I couldn't believe we're still losing 10-9 games to Bo Nix. That should never happen. That's coaching. Not coming out. Not being ready to play. That's coaching. And you could say, well, Saleh's the defensive guy. He's the head coach. He oversees everything. And I don't know if this is true, but for those killing Hackett, Robert Saleh once said that with or without Aaron Rodgers, he wanted to hire Nathaniel Hackett. So if that's true, he don't know ball. Because you only hire Hackett to get Aaron Rodgers. Wrong verb with a super chat. No intern coach has ever won the Super Bowl, but you know what they say? There's a first time for everything, LFG. Look, there's a stat going around that no intern coach has led a team to the playoffs. That's kind of horseshit. Excuse my language. John Gruden technically resigned in Vegas. He was fired. And then Rich Bisaccia came in and led that team to the postseason. How many teams with an interim head coach have a chance to play for first place in their first game? This is a very unique situation. This team could absolutely make the playoffs. Are the Jets not more talented than every team in their division? The answer is yes. That's why they made this move. Go beat the Bills on Monday night. You're in first place. Josh Allen was just 9 of 30 against the Texans on Sunday. Go win the game. This team protects Aaron Rodgers and runs the ball. I expect this defense to play well on Monday. They usually play the Bills really well defensively, especially at MetLife. I think this galvanizes the locker room. They got good leaders in that room. And I'll say this now. Now the spotlight's on Aaron Rodgers more than ever. Hackett's still here. This team's counting on you to lead them. Go out and win on Monday night and get in first place, and the season can start. That's where we're at right now. And I would expect Hackett to not be the play caller for this game on Monday, based on what Ulbrich said. I think Downing will call the plays. Hackett will still be on the staff, and that's fine. Make him the director of getting Rodgers his coffee. And it is what it is. The big fella with a super chat. Anyone who thinks Ulbrich isn't going to hold Hackett and Carter accountable hasn't been paying attention. If he sees things going to bleep, he'll call it out. He's going to make a big difference. I think when Woody talked about players respecting him, I think this locker room was about to teeter because nothing was changing. When Quincy Williams said what he said, that was eye-opening. Eye-opening, man. These players are sick of it. Silv says, team has the same issues with or without Rodgers, so had to do something. Time to figure it out and get hot for the playoffs. Look, it comes back to this. Do the Jets have other problems? Yeah. But Saleh wasn't part of the solution. Maybe Ulbrich can be. You see this in sports. The Phillies fired Joe Girardi. They went to the World Series. There's a lot of examples of the interim coming in and providing a spark. We already talked about Vegas with Bisaccia, but even Antonio Pierce last year, also with Vegas. They didn't make the playoffs, but they played a lot better. They rallied around him. And it's funny because there were a lot of Jet fans who were talking about Jeff Ulbrich being a head coach for somebody else next year. Well, now he gets the chance with the Jets. It's his opportunity. JJ says, I picked a bad week to stop huffing glue. Tyler writes in, it's tough not to say the A-Rod experiment has failed to this point. This turns around, but there'll have to be major changes on offense. Tyler, look, to this point, they're 2-3 with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. They're a game out of first place. Let's see how it plays out. You know, those saying, same old Jets, dysfunctional, this and that. Look, at the end of the day, they were going to be dysfunctional when they fired Saleh at the end of the season if they missed the playoffs. They're trying it now. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But this is the right move to me. I mean, you don't have many buttons you could press on this team right now. This was the biggest one you could do. And you do it now before it's too late. I agree with this. I do. I don't like seeing anyone get fired. I like Robert Saleh personally. I think he's an outstanding defensive coach. I think he's a good human being. But I don't see the harm in trying to do this. I don't. If you have watched this team, you know deep down you were not winning with this coach. You just know. We tried to give it a chance this year. You felt good after the Patriot game. They're going to turn the corner. And then what happened? The same thing that's always happened under Saleh after a great win. They fall flat on their face. And then in London, you come out and you're down 17-0. You don't have a first down till the second quarter of the game. Something had to change, man. And I know Hackett didn't get fired, but I promise you, folks, I mean, I really think we're going to see downing the play caller. And by the way, all those in the national media dunking on the Jets, Robert Saleh or his agent, or probably both, because immediately Jay Glazer talking about how Saleh came in prepared to work, Rappaport, Schefter, Florio, all these guys who do it nationally. They all had the story from Saleh's side right away. Why do you think that is? I mean, I love Joe B, but Saleh was texting with him last year, for crying out loud. Like, everyone loves Robert Saleh because he's a good guy and he's good with the media. But is he a good head coach? Unfortunately, the answer is no. I don't know if Jeff Ulbrich is either, but I'm willing to try it. That's where I'm at. I don't think the Jets got worse today. And if they had Davante Adams, they're a way better team. That's the next step here. They need to trade for Davante Adams today. And with Derek Carr now out multiple weeks, you tell me the team where Davante's going. The Ravens aren't in on him. The Chiefs aren't in on him. Cowboys aren't in on him. To my knowledge, the Bills aren't in on him. Joe Douglas needs to get this done. Period. Today's Jake Asman Show presented by Huga House. Get yourself a Huga House hat, 15% off with promo code ASMAN at checkout. Get the hat that Aaron Rodgers rocks, that I rock, that many people rock at HugaHouse.com. Use promo code ASMAN for 15% off. More super chats coming through here. Keep them coming, and we'll get to them. Gusbuster Hotline is open. Tim from Fishlands first up. Hey, Tim.
Jake, how you doing, my man?
What a day. What a day.
Yeah, you telling me I got a hurricane coming. But it is what it is.
Stay safe, Tim.
Well, luckily I'm on the southeast of the storm and where it's going. But I will feel some hurricane force winds, probably about category 1 when it comes through tomorrow. But it is what it is. But, you know, Saleh needed to go. There was no doubt about it. But other people need to go with him. And the first one that, in my opinion, needs to go is Allen Lazard. He needs to be traded with Davante with the 3rd and 5th round pick. I am tired of seeing this guy fucking not catch a fucking ball, okay, when it needs to be caught. If he had caught on 2nd and 6, the game would be completely different rather than fucking Rodgers throwing a pick 6.
Easy with the language. Easy, Tim.
I'm just saying, like
Tim's getting yelled at. Who's yelling at you?
it was my girlfriend. She was just telling me she was going somewhere. But like it's just stupid stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, he's too inconsistent to stay on the team. All right. What's the percentage on him catching a ball? 1 out of 3? That's not good. All right. You insert Devontae into that, he misses maybe 1 catch. Maybe 1 catch. Okay. Maybe the sideline throw that was a really, really hard catch that most NFL players wouldn't make. All right. Secondly, the offensive line coach needs to go. All right. In order for this team to get where they want to be, they need to run the ball. And that has been a big issue since week 1. The guards aren't getting up to the second level. There's miscommunication on whose assignments who. Okay. Running the ball is probably the easiest thing for an offensive lineman. And that's the most alarming thing. All right. Most offensive linemen, they would rather you run the ball every snap because it's so much easier on them than rather set back into a passing stance and block a 280-pound guy who could run a 4.5. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Tim. They need to run the ball better, without question. Aaron Rodgers throwing 54 times is not a recipe for success. Go look how many times Rodgers ever threw 54 times in any of his final years in Green Bay, his MVP years. Players got to wake up. They got to block better. They got to understand their assignments better. Ulbrich talked a lot about changing the operation, what they do in meetings, what they do in preparation, and all of it being on the table. I like hearing that. You do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. That's asinine. And Saleh's answer at halftime of this game on London saying we got to just keep doing what we do. No. Or his answer last week about the penalties. Oh, these guys are grown men. I don't need to embarrass them. You don't need to embarrass them, but how about hold them accountable? Your quarterback talked about that. Your all-pro linebacker talked about that after the game on Sunday. Wasn't good enough, man. I agree with Woody. This is one of the most talented teams the Jets have had. They should not be 2-3 right now. You got to beat the Bills on Monday. And I think the boost that you get with this move gives you a better chance to do it. I do. In fact, the betting line went from 2.5 down to 1.5 in some spots after this news, which I think says a lot. I mean, we talk about holding people accountable. Hey, 84 shouldn't be on the field on Monday night. Brendan Bates. I don't mean to highlight just him. They got a lot of issues, man. We played the baldy cut of Simpson and Tyron Smith not knowing where they're supposed to be blocking. But this stuff has got to end, man. Hackett should not be the OC. But if you can't fire him, you change the play caller. You send a message that what we're doing is not working. And I don't think Rodgers would be anti-Hackett not being the play caller. Rodgers was going like this to Hackett. He was pissed. And he's taking a beating in these games. Everyone's got to be better. This is the first time anyone's been held accountable, which is a nice change. Michael writes in, we're 32nd in rush yards. It's not good enough. I mean, I heard Rex talk about this on DiPietro and Rothenberg earlier this week. I think every team in the NFL would take the Jets' backfield over their own in Breece and Braylon Allen. So only the Jets could find a way to not be able to use them effectively. Let's go, man. Turn this around. Look what the Ravens did to the Bills. They ran it up their throat. Look what the Texans did. They ran the ball. You got to run the ball against this team. I need Breece against the Bills in the opener last year in this game on Monday. So wake-up call for everybody. I think the team takes the personality of their coach. And I think Saleh's body language and energy level and the lack of accountability, I think it was draining this team these last 2 games. Nothing was changing. Why does the defense remain elite despite no Reddick, no Jermaine Johnson, no Bryce Huff, no JFM? Michael Carter gets injured in pregame on Sunday. Sauce misses a lot of time in-game on Sunday. Why does this team remain elite defensively? Jeff Ulbrich, Aaron Whitecotton, Marquand Manuel. Just to name a few of the excellent defensive coaches on the staff. And Saleh deserves credit for hiring these guys. But the bottom line is this. Ulbrich was calling the defense. Those guys play for him. Now the offense got to do the same thing. This team is too good to be 2-3. I agree with what Woody said. Boomtown checks in. Beat the Bills Monday. Take first in the division. Don't look back. JETS. Jets. Let's go, man. This fan base deserves it. We all do. It's time to win. Gangrene UK is ready. This fan base is too great, both in the U.S. and internationally, as I learned this past weekend. If you're one of the 1,000 people watching right now, smash that like button. You know, I don't like to get political on this show, but we had Joe Beningo on earlier, and some of his comments about Saleh were in the New York Post. Awful announcing. And I turned on Fox News today, and I saw this. I'm hoping Ulbrich saw the same thing. Because Todd Downing should be the play caller. And I'm not saying Downing is anything special, but it can't be worse than Hackett. We want accountability. Nathaniel Hackett can't be the play caller Monday night. I don't believe he will be, by the way. I'll say it again. Let's go, man. We got to win. All right, not to get the political on this show, but when I was watching TV and I saw this, I go, wow, I didn't realize it was that bad. God. This fan base is the greatest in sports. Time to win. Devora says, reaction to Cowherd calling Saleh the only good coach we had. Here's my message to Colin Cowherd. When it comes to anything related to the Jets and coaches, maybe shut up.
And Jet fans are clueless. I mean, they're dopes. They don't know anything. This is a really good hire. Gase is a great coach. Okay, Adam Gase is Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan. Gase is a great coach.
Yeah, that's my message to you, Colin. Look, Saleh is a talented defensive coach. There's no doubt. But as we've seen, it wasn't getting better in the areas we thought a lot of this would get better. It wasn't. Look, it's now or never. You do this now before you're 2-4 or 2-5 and your season's lost at that point. The AFC is wide open. This division is wide open. The 98 Jets were 0-2 and 2-3. The 2002 Jets, who last won the division, were 2-5. You got to find a way to win Monday night. Tim writes in, Hurricane Party started a little early, just pissed people on offense have not been accountable. I think that's going to start to change now. Once again, that answer by Ulbrich, I think, was telling. And look, I think this fan base, for the most part, is happy with this because we watch the team. We're not these national pundits who get their stories from Saleh, right? Or who aren't objectively looking at the team because they have other interests. We're looking at it as fans. We know what we're seeing. I think we went into this year with an open mind. We gave this head coach a chance. And, yeah, you could say maybe they cut it off too soon. But you know what? I'd rather it be too soon than too late. He's 20-56 as the coach of the team. And while I say the record needs some context, when the record is getting worse after you have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback and we're still losing 10-9 at home to Denver and we're getting down 17-0 against Minnesota and losing that game, at some point you got to do something. And the defense has remained elite. And Ulbrich's calling the defense and holding guys accountable there. And I think Quincy Williams' comments were the last straw. I really do believe that. That and losing in London, where Woody was the ambassador to the UK for the Trump administration. That played a big part too. Eric Mangini talked about this. He would know. You know, it's funny. On TV today, they had Mangini breaking down this on Fox. They got Tannenbaum breaking down this on ESPN. We got two guys who are experts in being fired by Woody Johnson weighing in. Chris K with a super chat. If the offense plays for Ulbrich anything like the defense, we're in good hands. First big game of the season coming up. Smash the Bills. Let's go. Let's go, man. Win on Monday and you're in first place. AFC not wide open. It's Chiefs, Ravens, and everybody else. I don't know about that. The Chiefs are good. They're great. Okay. We'll worry about them later on. You don't play them this year. You don't play the Ravens on your schedule. If you're the Jets, why can't you go out there and go 8-4 over your next 12 and be 10-7 and be a playoff team? 10 wins might win you the division. They could be better than 8-4. How about 9-3? Get to 11 wins and win the AFC East for the first time since 2002, Daniel. We know your shitty-ass Dolphins aren't doing it. It's not how you start. It's how you finish in football. This team is too talented to not at least win a division, man. I'm sorry. Since Josh Allen's been an MVP-level player, this is the weakest roster the Bills have had. Miami's cooked. New England stinks. There's now starting a rookie in Drake May. Time to win. More of your calls right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, we are reacting to the latest from Woody Johnson and his comments, Jeff Ulbrich and his comments. We are awaiting a potential Devontae Adams trade. What a day it's been. What a day it's been. More of your calls right now. I know someone out there in this fan base that probably saw the news that Robert Saleh was fired and Jeff Ulbrich was named the intern head coach. And this person probably started crying tears of joy. You know who this person is?
Okay, good luck, Coach. We love you.
I love you too, Jeremy. You look mighty cute in those jeans, brother.
Jets Chaos, a.k.a. our pal Jeremy, is that person. Hello, Jeremy.
Hey, man, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, when Green Bean called you, man, and the way you sounded was the way we felt, I think that's why Saleh's gone, man. I think we all felt the same way during the first half of that game against the Vikings to show up after that Denver game and come in unprepared yet again. I think it was just too much.
Disgraceful. I wanted it.
Yeah.
And look, I wanted everyone fired in that first half. I mean, I was disgusted by what we watched in that first half, specifically that first quarter. They didn't have a first down. It's enough, man. And I know Saleh is a defensive guy. He's the head coach, and it was time. This team was taking the personality of the coach who looked like he didn't want to be there. And then at halftime, he's saying, we got to do what we do. No, man. How about be angry? How about be upset? How about at the podium be like, it's unacceptable how we played. I don't care if we nearly came back. We got to start. Like, it's just the energy was not where it needed to be for a guy that's in his fourth year coaching for his job. I didn't get a sense like Saleh really wanted to go down swinging, right? He had that speech that one Jets Drive showed, keep swinging. Where was that guy these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think we're getting that. My guy, Ulbrich, we're going to get that.
He's your guy. Has he called you yet to ask for any advice?
He hasn't called me. I'm very disappointed that he hasn't gotten a hold of me, but I understand it's been a busy and hectic day for him, but I'm sure I'll get to him at some point, and I'll send all my love to him for everybody. I promise you. But, I think it was just the eye-opening thing. Like when I saw he was fired, I went right to that Quincy Williams interview where he was asked a positive question. Like, hey, how did you guys feel about getting back in the game and coming back after being down? And he wanted no part of that. He wanted no part of talking about that positive aspect of the game. And that's when you knew, oh, shit, something's really bad here. Because he went right after everything and just said, F that shit. You know what I mean? This team takes no accountability. He just went right to negative, and you knew, something's going on in that locker room.
It's time, man. It was time. And I'm not someone who wants to sit here and say fire this guy, fire that guy, but we're at a point now where if you're going to do it, it's better to do it early than too late. So I agree with the decision. If this was going to happen, say after the Bills game, you might as well just do it now.
I would hate to look back and say, oh, remember that moment where if we beat the Bills, we still had a chance. We did nothing, and then we just let this team play out and lose the next two games to the Bills in Pittsburgh and just kind of fall out of it. I'm glad if we're going to make a move, you make it now. Yeah, you take your shot now. See if you can turn this around now. The talent is definitely 100% there. We needed a change.
Amen. Amen. And look, the change we got, Jeremy, is someone that you know very well.
Okay, good luck, Coach. We love you.
I love you too, Jeremy. You look mighty cute in those jeans, brother.
Just think, that's where this offseason started at the Senior Bowl. And here we are now, head coach Brick.
It's just unbelievable. Just amazing. It was like when they said that he was the interim head coach, I lit up. I said, that's my guy.
You're the best, Jeremy. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right, brother.
Jets Chaos. Check it in. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. Great Jet fan, content creator. Does a bunch of stuff with O'Leary and Ryan and Green Bean on the Talking Jets channel. Oh, man, what a day. What a day in Jetland. It's always something, man. It really is. And just, it's funny. I grew up listening to Joe and Evan on the Fan, right? If you would have told me I'd be the one breaking the news that the Jets fired the head coach of Joe's team to him, when I would bring a transistor radio into high school every day so I could listen to the monologue after a Jet game on Monday mornings. Unreal. Joe, I am not messing with you with what I'm about to say. Adam Schefter is reporting the Jets have just fired Robert Saleh.
Wow. Wow. Are you serious?
I swear to you, I am seeing it all over now. Insane, man. Insane. Over 45,000 views on that video on our first show earlier today. Incredible. More calls right now. Let's say hi to Paul. He's next. What's up, Paul?
How's it going, Jake?
Paul, it's been a day, man. It has been a day.
I know you've been real busy, but I waited to call in because I really wanted to think this through. And I think it's phenomenal that we did it before the Bills game, not because of like motivational purposes or anything like that. I think this game is too big coming up for us to keep witnessing and watching the same crap that we deal with all the time. And when you look at that film, like, we improved our O-line for a reason. And we're sitting there blaming Breece, but my God, did you see how many times the guy didn't have a snowball's chance in hell to get something going when they see Breece is in, they know that we're going to run with him, and our O-line doesn't know who to block is absurd. And is that Hackett? Who makes those people come in? Who makes those decisions on putting that tight end in on that particular play? Is it solid? Is it not? Regardless of the fact, he is still the head coach. It is still his responsibility. He sees that on film. How long do you let it go? And I think it was a combination of stuff. I definitely think it had to do with the London thing. I definitely think it had to do with Rodgers, not in Rodgers' fault, but it's factual. I mean, Rodgers has played on a professional football team organization. You cannot deny Green Bay is a very professional organization. And he comes to this nonsense. I mean, it's embarrassing. And I didn't want to, I kind of knew it was going to be impossible. I mean, you're going to San Fran, you accepted it, right? Then you pull out a win. They didn't look great, but you're like, okay, they're still gelling. Then when they came out in that New England game and just pummeled them, and you saw what Aaron Rodgers is capable of doing, and that game was scripted right, and everybody was doing fine. Then you look at those next two games. Second, you get hope and start to feel like you're gonna. We go and lay an egg twice in a row, just like last year, and seeing all these bumbling mistakes to the point that I'm relieved he's gone, because, like everybody's saying now, something had to change here, because we would have had the same old Jets season again. And you got to blame Saleh. I hate to say it, because as a person, I know he's phenomenal. But when it comes to running a team, you're in charge of the team. And you know what? I think it's a great thing that happened before the Bills game, because if we lose that game, it's going to be a game that's going to hurt, and hurt bad for the fans, especially at home. Buffalo's not that great right now. They're banged up too. They're a beatable team, and all the talent we have. I mean, look at we redid the whole O-line, right? Like, we brought in veteran O-linemen, and I know we have one rookie on the O-line right now, but Tippmann, Vera Tucker, all these the rest of our O-line have been playing football for years and are good. Last year, I could understand. We had guys that were kind of backup players. We were spread thin, right? But this year, no excuse for the players that we have on that O-line to look like that. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Paul,
I'm
you're
actually
100%
frustrated
right.
for the first time.
You said it best, though, right? You brought up the New England game, and they had this great performance. And Rodgers comes out that week and says, we got to handle prosperity. We got to learn how to win, how to handle success. And you follow that up with two of the worst performances of the Saleh era with Rodgers as your quarterback. It's coaching, man. It's coaching. That is on coaching. You cannot justify losing that Denver game. If they lost to the Viking game and they were 3-2, I don't think Robert Saleh gets fired today. I think it's you lose to Denver the way you did, and then you follow that up by getting down 17-0 in London against a quarterback that you drafted, and he beat you, and he didn't even play well. And that was it for Robert Saleh, especially after the Quincy Williams comments, which I do think kind of echo the sentiment in the locker room from some of the stars on this team.
I'm always the optimistic Jet fan, or at least try to be. My brother is the complete opposite. And I sometimes just I got to hear his mouth, because he's right. He's right all the time. He's right, and he's like, no, the coaching sucks. It's a problem. This has got to go. That's got, and he's a Jet fan as long as I am. We're only a year apart. So, we've been dying forever. I'm 53. He's 54. But in all fairness, he's right. I don't think you can get optimistic until they act. Like that movie, what was a baseball movie with Major League, when the guy finally gets happy at the end when they actually win it, because he's still no, they still suck. That's my brother. He won't be happy until they actually win it. But thanks for your time, Jake. I love you too, man.
Paul, I love you too, brother. Good to hear from you. Look, I get every Jet fan being negative, right? But a lot of the negativity was people saying, fire the coach. They did what you wanted. The JJs out there, the Allens out there who call this show. You got what you wanted. And I think Ulbrich's the right choice to be the interim. Now they got to deliver. And the pressure is on this quarterback. Now, Aaron Rodgers now has to deliver. He has to play at a high level. I'm not saying he's got to be the MVP of the league, but he's got to play at a high level. And they got to get this running game going. It is pathetic what has happened to this ground game. In their 2 wins this year, they ran for over 100 yards. Their 3 losses, they averaged less than 3 yards a carry. This quarterback has taken a beating the last 2 games. He has been hit 21 times and sacked 9. He will not survive if he continues to get hit like that. He's already on the injury report again this week now with a low ankle sprain. When we talk about fixing the running game, this is what we're talking about. This was Brian Baldinger going through the film of the Jets' issues running the football from the first game to the 5th game that wrapped up in Sunday, where I watched this debacle in person.
Breece Hall has 65 runs, 31 of the 65, 2 yards or less. Let's look at the issues. all 1st and 10 runs where you want 4 yards on first down. All right, here we go. Right there is a bad mesh. All right, left guard center, bad mesh, penetration. What does that do to Breece? He's got to cut it back. He's running away from color. Is a bad backside cutoff. Nowhere to go. All right, let's look at another one. This is outside zone. It's the bread and butter out of a shotgun. It's their number one play they got to make work. So let's just see what they do right here. Again, there's no movement. And on the backside, they're just backside position blocking right here. So now there's no movement at the point, and the backside is position blocking, and there's no place to go. Shows up every week. Now, you watch this right here. I believe they should be full scooping this onside. Nobody blocks 56. So I think they should be taking this front side. This whole play everybody should be coming. Like Tipman should be coming, okay? Vera Tucker should be coming. Instead of the outside, this guy is running free. All right? He's going to show right up in the hole, and Breece got to run away from it. No place to go. All right, let's go against New England right here. If you don't get the second level blocked, you're not going to have a successful play. So that's McMillan, number 50. Let's just see how they do this here. They secure, there's no movement, all right? No movement at all. Now, you can stretch a run. You can stretch it, but you got to get the second level blocked. Nobody gets to the second level, and he makes a tackle on Breece. They got to get this corrected. In London, here we go. Too much position blocking right here. Like, nobody's knocking anybody off. Denver is winning right at the point of attack. Look at the left guard. Look at the right guard. They're catching these blocks, and they're getting stoned right here. All right? Like, there's no movement. Now, Breece sees this. He sees this penetration right here. It's an inside zone. But he sees color's got to cut back. And everybody is getting beat. And it's not looking good. If they want to get this offense humming, stop talking about Aaron. Like, let's get Breece Hall going. That's where it's going to turn around.
He's right. And the whole premise of this season was Breece Hall is going to lead the Jets in offensive production. He was going to be Christian McCaffrey. That's why Breece was going first overall in fantasy drafts this year. He put up second most yards from scrimmage last year amongst running backs behind McCaffrey with a worse O-line and a worse quarterback situation by far. They have to get the running game going. That is the key to everything. First off, Rodgers doesn't get hit on a running play. And the whole premise of the year was Rodgers will be the best game manager in the league if he has the best offensive rushing attack in football. He has a game changer like Breece. And Braylon Allen can play too, as we've learned, which was an unknown coming into this year. Run the football, man. And I would fire Keith Carter because in addition to being the offensive line coach, he's the running game coordinator. And this running game sucks. So you talk about accountability. I heard Ulbrich say everything's on the table with making adjustments and changing things up. Downing, play caller. Carter, not the running game coordinator. Find someone else. Tony Dews, you're the new guy. It's not working. Maybe people wake up now that the head coach is gone and they made a major change. But they got to get this running game going, man. Breece Hall last year was the second best running back in the NFL. I don't think he forgot how to play football. They got to get him going. Period. Curly says, do you think Brick has a strategy for playing in the rain? Here's what I would hope. They show some balls. They show some toughness. I don't care what the weather conditions are. And I heard Rodgers talk about this on McAfee after that debacle against Denver. Like, we should be accustomed to playing in the rain. Every Jet home game the last 2 years has basically been in the rain. That should be an advantage for this team. It shouldn't look like they've never seen rain before like they did against Denver. And then the head coach is talking about weather as an excuse afterwards. No one wants to hear it. I'm tired of it, man. Let's go. Let's go. This team still has a chance to be damn good. Very rarely do you make this type of move and you can play for first place in your next game. That's why I give Woody some credit here. He's going to get hammered nationally for it. But you know what? We, the fans, know the real story. We know what this team has looked like the last 4 seasons now with Saleh. It hasn't gotten better. And I was willing to give him this year, but the warning signs were there. This was not getting any better. You cannot lose that Denver game and then follow that up with the Viking performance where you're down 17-0 in the first quarter. Give me a freaking break. Julian, up next on the Gusbuster Hotline. What's up, Julian?
Hey, Jake, how you doing, man? I was trying to get on your show earlier this morning. I was watching live the Joe Beningo reaction, man. Woo! Let me tell you, I was floored. I did not think they were going to do this. I was talking to my pops after the Minnesota game. Like, they should make a coaching change. This was necessary. Robert Saleh looked absolutely flat. He did not look like he wanted to be there. Going down 17-0 and Rodgers throwing 2 picks in the Minnesota game in the first quarter is unacceptable in a win or go home year. This is much needed. Now, what I hope is a Devontae Adams notification and a Jake Asman show with Devontae Adams as a Jet, but let's temper expectations. Let's be all right with with the coaching change. I'm surprised Hackett still has a job, but that's what happens when you know Aaron Rodgers well. I did see a report on ESPN that Todd Downey's going to get the offensive play calling duties. So with that being said, what's Hackett's role going to be? QB coach?
QB coach, have a voice in the offensive room. However they want to word it, Julian, to me, it doesn't matter. He can't be the play caller. He's not good at it. He's not good at it. James B is next. What's up, James?
Hey, Jake. Yeah, it doesn't take much to know that we've been
James,
struggling.
how was your nap? Let's start with the important stuff.
Oh, I travel for work, so I'm kind of on the night shift, and it was okay. But no, I kept I've been watching you for hours today, and I had a comment on your first video, because I think it was 4 hours long. I said if Devontae Adams signs, you're going to go for another 4 hours, after that breaking news.
Well, I'll tell you what. So the show was almost 5. I ended it, and then I'm like, okay, let me pause. I'm sure Devontae will get traded immediately. It still hasn't happened, so I'm shocked. So I was like, let me go live again just to kind of do a little reset because we now have comments from the owner and the new head coach. So I was waiting for Devontae. Then I would have been live, but, it hasn't
Jake,
happened yet.
You got to take care of yourself, too. Get something to eat. Get some wings or something.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll Uber Eats myself some wings, James, but I need some more SuperChats, all right? I mean, they pay the bills around here. You know how it goes.
Understand that. But no, yeah, seeing our rushing game was bad, but seeing some of the tape is just alarming. Like the missed blocks. I mean, you keep pointing out the tight end Bates. That's just he's not even close. Like something's completely off, and it's so strange. But I've had some mixed emotions this morning since finding out Saleh got fired. But I'm starting to get more and more positive because Ulbrich's press conference and just how he handles himself, his intensity, I do love it. So I am excited for change in general, I think, and it's always exciting when the Jets make a big change, So I am excited, and yeah, hopefully we get Devontae. But do you think that this shaking up the head coach thing might change Devontae's opinion at all about what team he wants to go to? Because it seems like he might want to go to a spot where there's already a good foundation. But I mean, do you think his connection with Aaron Rodgers is strong enough where he's going to come down and they can remake the magic?
Yes,
anyway, thanks, Jake.
I do. James, good call. I think Devontae wants to be a Jet because he wants to play with Rodgers. He knows Hackett's offense. Even if Hackett's not the play caller, it's still going to be a similar offense. I think the biggest issue for Hackett is sometimes not even the play selection. It's the personnel usage. Having the wrong guys on the field. You know how you could try and basically overcome that? You just throw so much talent at it, you overcome it. And Devontae would help. Look, as bad as this has been these last 2 weeks, you tell me the Jets have Devontae. Do they not have at least one more win right now? You think Devontae Adams is dropping 4 passes like Lazard just did on Sunday? You think Devontae's not on the same page with Rodgers with the game on the line on that drive where Garrett and him weren't? I mean, you could say maybe they're 4-1. I'll say 3-2. Right? And I'm getting conservative with that. They have at least one more win right now. You're all in. Go get Devontae Adams. It is time to make that move. I don't see the team he'd be going to if not the Jets. I think it's going to happen. I do. I'm actually surprised to this point it hasn't happened yet. A lot of people probably didn't get a chance to watch Jeff Ulbrich's press conference earlier. If you missed it, here was Jeff Ulbrich being introduced and speaking with the Jets media for the first time as the intern head coach of the New York Jets.
You know, I want to open this up with just making it very clear my love, my respect, my regard for Coach Saleh and all that he's done here. Great gratitude for him bringing me here. Great gratitude for staying by me, especially for the people that have been here when year one we didn't play the level of defense necessary to win games. And he stuck with me. And he had great belief in me. And the success I have today, he's a huge part of that. And I got tremendous respect and love for his family as well. So today's an exciting day for myself from the standpoint of getting this opportunity, but at the same time, heavy in my heart for Robert. With that, I'll take any questions.
Jeff, Woody was talking to us a little bit ago about changes potentially, just changes in general for the offense. I was wondering if you could talk at all about your plans for the play caller, because you have Todd there who's done it. You have Nate who has been doing it. Do you know who's going to call plays for you?
I've got tremendous respect for this offensive staff. I do. Every single guy on it. In the next couple days, you know, like, in my opinion, these guys are going to be here on Monday Night Football for us, and they're gonna do an amazing job. Saying that, in the next, I mean, this has been 4 hours fresh for me to take this role on. Everything will be assessed, the process, the responsibilities, etc. But I do not foresee any changes in the staff.
Just to follow up on that, Jeff, you said you don't foresee any changes on the staff, but do you foresee any changes in the roles, meaning play caller?
Yeah, we're going to take a deep dive on that in the next, really 36 hours and look at every possibility. But I do not see changes in necessarily titles in positions as far as responsibilities and the process itself. We're going to take a hard look at that.
Brick, we spoke with Woody a little while ago, and he basically said, he thinks this is one of the most talented rosters. I think he said it's the most talented roster he's ever had. And, he needs to see changes. What do you feel like you can bring to the table here to get this thing turned around?
We're going to take a hard look at everything. I agree with Mr. Johnson as far as the talent of this roster. We have been underperforming for whatever the reason, and we're going to take a hard look at all of it. At the end of the day, I'm going to be me. And, I have tremendous love and respect for this team, for this roster, for this locker room, for this group of coaches, and I really believe, we lock arms, we commit to the process that we put in place, and we will have success. We will.
Jeff, what's your relationship like with Aaron Rodgers?
I have a good relationship with Aaron. He is, he's one of those guys that has, he's just unbelievable experience and he's seen this game at the highest level for a long time. So he's a guy with a lot of ideas and really positive feedback about a lot of different things, whether it be meetings, practice, game planning, scheduling, all of it, so he will be a vital resource for me in that way, for sure.
Hey, Brett, could you just, I'm sure this has been a whirlwind for you here, but just wondering about the timeline. Like, when did you actually find out? When was this opportunity presented to you? And how have you processed everything in that time?
Yeah, it has been a whirlwind. It has been 4 hours of craziness. 4 hours ago, I'm sitting there game planning for Josh Allen and what we got to get accomplished from a defensive perspective. And then 4 hours later, I'm doing a press conference here with you guys as the new interim coach of the New York Jets. So a lot of information to process. It's going to take me some time because, I got to pull away from the defensive coordinator position and really start to look at this thing from a global perspective. So in the process of doing that now.
To follow up on that, Jeff, how will you handle the defensive coordinator responsibilities now? Will you turn that over to someone? Will you continue to serve in that role?
I think everything is on the table right now. So I'm going to take a hard look at that. And can I manage a game day as a head coach and play or call the plays on defense? So everything's on the table right now. It is.
When it comes, you said,
what is your message?
Do you think? Sorry, when it comes to like the underperforming, Jeff, do you think?
Say it again.
When it comes to the team underperforming this season, do you think there has to be radical changes, or do you think you guys have to do what you've been doing but do it better?
I think everything's on the table right now. We're not playing to our potential. We're not. We're too talented to be putting the product we put out there the last couple of weeks, especially. So we got to take a hard look at everything and be honest with ourselves.
Have you had an opportunity to address the team as a group yet? And if so, what was the message? And if not, what will be the message when that happens?
I did get an opportunity earlier today. The message was, it's time to lock arms. We go back to back, and it's us against everybody. And with the talent that we have in that room, in my opinion, we have everything we need to be successful and have the season that we know we're capable of having. And at the same time, shared my love, regard, and respect for Robert, and and at the same time, a day like this, there's a moment of there's some sadness and frustration, because ultimately his firing is on all of our hands. So we got to do a better job. We do it collectively.
What is your message to Jets fans about what they are getting in you as an interim head coach?
I'm going to be me. Love this game. I've been part of the NFL for over 20 years now as a player and a coach. All I know is how to be me. And I'd like to say that that's someone that relates to the players. I think playing has helped me do that at times. An unwavering standard of play. I'd like to think that what you've seen on our defense is a reflection of all of that. So it's just, I'm just going to be me every day and bring a level of my authenticity and my energy and my toughness and my grit and my experience in this league. And from that standpoint, I'm very excited about connecting with this locker room and elevating everybody.
Any more questions for Coach Ulbrich?
I think you went through this with Atlanta in 2020, a midseason coaching change. Am I right?
We did, yes.
What can you learn from that experience of just kind of this sudden change, for lack of a better word, in the middle of the season, and how to handle it?
I think the biggest thing, and actually Aaron and I spoke about this earlier today, about there has to be an element of change. The players have to feel that, whether that's our process, whether that's scheduling meetings, practice, night before games, whatever that is, there has to be a change bigger than just me now assuming the head coaching role. So we're going to take a hard look at all that we do and the process in which we get to Monday night and make the changes we think are necessary.
We'll take a couple more questions.
When you take this deep dive into the offense and how to distribute the roles, how much will you lean on Aaron for input into who to make the play caller?
I think Aaron's going to be a part of a lot of conversations. Obviously he has a lot of insight regarding this offensive system, and he's been a part of it when it's been, operating at the highest level. So responsibilities and roles and all that, we're going to take a hard look at all of it, the process included. Again, guys, this is 4 hours ago I was told this, so still processing all this information, and I promise once I get clarity that you guys will know.
I like it. I'm bricked up, baby. Let's go. Win on Monday night, you're in first place. Very rarely do you get an opportunity like what Jeff Ulbrich has right now. And when he said, I'm going to be me, good. Don't change a thing. I want the backwards hat being worn on the sideline on Monday night. This defense, with less talent than they've had, has been just as good this year after a rough start week 1. There's no Reddick on this team. There's no Jermaine Johnson, unfortunately, on this team. Huff's not here. JFM's not here. Michael Carter didn't play on Sunday. Sauce has been in and out of the lineup in 2 games this year. CJ Mosley hasn't played since the first quarter of the Titans game. And the Jets defense right now is top 3 in every category that matters. I don't want Jeff Ulbrich to change what makes him him. Be you. Because this team needs that energy. They need that passion. They need that relatability. That's how this team's going to win. They have the talent. I know there's some who are going to hear what he said about, Aaron Rodgers is going to be involved in what? Yeah, he should be. Because you need Aaron Rodgers to now be at his best. This is all about Aaron Rodgers now and this offense, figuring it out. And it's good to hear that they're going to change some things up. Meetings, practice times, preparation stuff. I like what I heard there. This guy sounded to me like a leader. This guy sounded to me like a head coach. This guy sounded to me like a guy who's going to hold people accountable. Which is why I think Robert Saleh doesn't have a job right now, because you heard the word accountability being used by 2 captains of the team. Quincy Williams talking about it. Rodgers last week. What Garrett Wilson said after the game. Let's go, man. This team can win the AFC East. And there's going to be people who throw the stat, well, no team that's fired their coach has made the playoffs that season. The Raiders just did it a few years ago. Don't tell me John Gruden technically resigned. He was fired. And Rich Bisaccia got that team to the playoffs. And this is happening now. It's the best time for it to happen. It's happening on the Tuesday before you play a game next Monday. That's enough time to get this team ready to go for the Buffalo Bills, who come in struggling. That's enough time for this team to put together a comprehensive offensive plan that doesn't suck, that doesn't force Aaron Rodgers at age 40, coming off an Achilles injury, have to throw the ball 54 times. Let's go, man. You want passion? I promise you, Ulbrich's going to give you some passion. This team better come out with their pants on fire on Monday night.
Today, hold my fist, make it come to life. You control that. You love this game, demonstrate that shit by how hard you strain. And the passion you play with, guys, when you make a play or your teammate makes a play, celebrate that shit today. Celebrate it. Mind, execute. Don't make shit up. Guys, trust your training. Trust your training. And then fist. In the 4th quarter, these flinch and they tap on us. Remember this, guys. A teammate, I'll die for. My brother, I'll kill for. Let's kill for today. Let's break this down. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Kill on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Let's go, baby. I'm bricked up. Brick Nation. Let's ride. I mean, people are clowning the Jets today. If you're a real Jet fan, don't tell me that you're not at least excited or intrigued by Monday night. Don't tell me you're not. I know you are. I'm bricked up. You're bricked up. Let's go, baby. Ulbrich, we trust. Win the game on Monday. Joe the Jet, next up on the Gusbuster hotline. What's up, Joe?
I mean, I'm bricked up too. But all I'm gonna say is, this had to be made. This decision had to be made. The fact that we came off of the New England win and we had a full week to prepare for Denver, and we just came up with that piece of trash. And same thing happened with Minnesota. Something that a decision had to be made, whether that be Hackett, whether that be Saleh. Something had to happen, and I commend Woody for having some balls for the first time in my life I've ever seen Woody have balls. Because let's be honest, there's multiple head coaches that coach this team that never been fired in season. I mean, for Christ's sake, we had Adam Gase on the squad, and he never got fired in season. So this actually shows me
Yeah, but to be fair, Joe, like, you're a Jet fan, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're a dope.
And Jet fans are clueless. I mean, they're dopes. They don't know anything. This is a really good hire. Gase is a great coach. Gase is a great coach. Okay, Adam Gase is Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan. Gase is a great coach.
Continue.
Oh yeah, he's a great coach. But still, this is the first time I actually noticed that Woody gives a shit. He knows that this team has the talent to win. They have the talent to win the division. The division sucks right now. It sucks. I mean, you have Miami crap in the bed. You have Buffalo, who is playing a concussed quarterback. By the way, they need to look into that Josh Allen situation. The fact that he got knocked out in that game in Houston, and the fact that he still played that game is just crazy to me. I hope the God he doesn't end up like Tua did, and when that situation happened to him, I hope to God that doesn't happen Monday night. I want to have a fully healthy Josh Allen to play against and beat. But that's neither here or there. The Patriots, they're rebuilding. They're starting Drake May. This is the year to win this division. No more bullshit. I'm tired of it. You have to win this division this year. I'm tired of the excuses. I'm tired of the woe is me. We still stink even though we have Aaron Rodgers on squad. No. This has to be the year. And you know what? I'm brick the fuck up. Guess what? This team is going to come out tomorrow, Monday, with a fire underneath their ass. And guess what? We're going to be chanting Jeff Ulbrich, Jeff Ulbrich when the game's over. We're going to be chanting his fucking name. Sorry for the curse. We're going to be chanting his name.
Joe, I hope you are right.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Jeff Ulbrich. Jeff Ulbrich. Hey, how about we do this? I'm about 15 members away from a new emoji being added. I think we need a Jeff Ulbrich emoji. I got Gator working on it right now. If you become an Asmaniac, you could help us add the Ulbrich emoji to the chat. Let's go, man. Hit that join button or turn on gift receipts. Someone might gift you a channel membership. I see the brick emoji in the chat. We need Ulbrich to have his own emoji. Gator, put Ulbrich in an emoji with a brick as a background. That would work, I think. But I don't want to tell Gator what to do. That's like telling Picasso how to paint. Anyway, Sharif is up next. What's up, Sharif?
Thank you, my brother. What's going on, Jake, man?
Just another day being a Jet fan.
Bro, I'm 42, believe it or not, man, in November. I've been a Jets fan since I was born, right? This move right here ain't right, bro. I know you excited and you feel. I play football. I coach Little League. Because of Robert, the Jets has been relevant the last 3 years. Because of Robert, they have an elite defense. Because of Robert, the guy who just took the intern spot, he just said it himself, that everything he know goes to Saleh. Saleh is the reason why he the type of coach he is, defensive mind is today.
Yeah,
now I'm gonna say something.
Personalities, man. There's different personalities to it.
I feel you. And my thing is this, okay, his record don't speak for, and I don't think it has nothing to do with personality, man. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. And you listen, man, this is a very, very crucial political place here in America. Robert Saleh went across the pond and represented his Lebanese flag. That's why he got fired.
No,
yes.
He wore a Lebanese flag last year during games too.
No, but they wasn't bombing the hell out of Lebanon. They wasn't bombing Lebanon at that time the way was going on now, and they feel some type of way because
as a head coach. He's 20 and 36 as a coach.
Yeah, bro, but
they just lost to Sam Darnold and Bo Nix back-to-back weeks. That's why he got fired.
Nah, man, that don't make sense, bro. It's not his fault. It's Nathaniel. If anybody should get fired, it's Nathaniel Hackett because he's still living in the 90s with his offensive call plays. Okay? Aaron Rodgers, I love Aaron Rodgers. He do 3 picks, 1 for a pick 6. If it wasn't for the defense the last 2 weeks, we would have got blown out.
Sharif, do you think Robert Saleh is a good head coach?
I do. I do think he's a good head coach.
Well, I think most people don't at this point. That's the problem. They're still having the same losses they had last year. The team was flat for 2 weeks. They lost to Bo Nix at home and then followed that up by trailing 17-0. They come out flat. This team is bad with extra time.
We're competing for number one in our division on Monday night. We're not that bad.
Well, but the division's not that good. That's why they have a chance to be 3-3 and be tied for first place. It's not like we're talking about 2 4-1 teams playing on Monday night. The division's not any good. The Dolphins don't have a quarterback. The Patriots are rebuilding, and the Bills roster is not nearly as good as it's been the last couple of years. That's
Mark my words. Everyone that's winning now will be losing in the next 3 to 4 weeks. The NFL tables always turns. Majority of the teams. That's why you make this move
now, Sharif. That's why you make it now.
Nah, bro, it's a real bad decision, man.
To your point, Hackett is terrible too. But I don't think he's going to be the play caller based on what we just played from Ulbrich there. I think it's going to be someone else. I think they're going to make a change.
But what I'm trying to figure out, besides, okay, if you could say Robert Saleh is he's not reacting enough, or he's not, y'all say he's not holding people accountable, right? But he's not calling any plays. The offensive coordinator called the plays.
Sharif, but the job of the head coach can be to oversee the play caller. When you have Braylon Allen and you're at the goal line against Denver and you have 3 plays at the 1 yard line and he doesn't get a touch when he's been your best running back this year, better than Breece.
I don't think that has nothing to do with him, bro.
It does. He's the head coach. He's in charge of
but they gave all of the power to Aaron Rodgers, bro. Let's not act like we don't know what's really going on. Then the thing you hack is Aaron Rodgers' boy.
Sharif, Aaron Rodgers doesn't control the 11 players who are out there, or the 10 players who are out there with them.
He has a very, very heavy influence over them.
Yes, but not in the middle of the drive. It's saying, I need Braylon Allen here right now. That's not how it works. That's on the offense.
Why can't he do that? Yes, he can. He can do that.
Sharif, Pete Carroll gets blamed for the Marshawn Lynch lack of usage at the goal line in the Super Bowl. He didn't call the play. Darrell Bevel did. But it's on Pete Carroll as the head coach to say, hey, instead of throwing here, hand the ball off to the running back. It's the same thing, man. The coach oversees everything. And it's not even just the offense. It's coming out flat in games. It's the penalties. It's the lack of accountability. Players are talking about it. Like, this is not just a one-off. This goes back multiple years. And we thought, okay, he's never had a quarterback. Now he does, and the same crap is happening. That's why
but I totally disagree, bro, because what's been happening has nothing to do with the defensive side of the ball. He's a defensive-minded head coach, and that has nothing to do with him. I strongly believe, I agree with you on his record is bad. He should put more emotion in the game. I agree with that. But I'm telling you, the moment I heard the news.
Ulbrich will do that. What you just said,
bro,
that's what Ulbrich's going to do.
We don't know what Ulbrich going to do, man. You better hope Woody just made the right decision, because I personally think, and I'm telling you of my experience and what I feel, and you can listen to Tiki Barb and them talking earlier.
What's your experience? Did you coach in the NFL? Would you coach middle school?
No. I'm talking about just my experience in football politics, no matter from Pee-wee football to the NFL.
What is your experience?
This is what I'm trying to tell you, bro. My experience is just my experience in football, man.
Right,
my experience in
football as well.
Huh?
I'm trying to tell you about my experience in football as well.
How long you play football?
I have covered football for many years and have been a
No. Hear me out. This is what you got to understand.
Your experience different than mine. Did you coach professionally in the NFL?
No. I only coach Little League, but I played football from Pee-wee to high school, right? And hear me out. In Newark, New Jersey, bro. Hear me out. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you don't have the right support in any football league or division, then you're going to be outcast. I personally believe, because of Robert Saleh being Lebanese, because of the attention that's going on worldwide.
Sharif, I can't do it anymore, man. We're not doing the Lebanese stuff. He's 20-36 as the head coach. This team just lost to Bo Nix and Sam Darnold back-to-back weeks. After they lost to Bo Nix, they followed that up by trailing 17-0 in a neutral site game. They lead the NFL in penalties. That's why he got fired. He wore the Lebanese thing last year, too. He then got to coach the team the rest of last year and all of this year. He got fired because he ultimately was not a good enough coach. He's a great guy, a phenomenal defensive coach. He will be a defensive coordinator in 5 minutes this offseason if he wants to be. But if you watch this team, it does not pass the eye test. It doesn't even pass the smell test. It just didn't look right. And it looked like there was starting to be a disconnect between him and the players. Read Woody Johnson's statement. It talks about accountability, talks about Ulbrich's relationship as a former player and connecting with guys. That's why they made this move, man. And look, if you think Robert Saleh is a good coach, that's fine. But I can't sit here and listen to you try and talk to me about your football experience when you coached Pop Warner, when you played football in high school. That's awesome, man. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, this locker room was going to fracture. That's the sense you get today. I mean, Jesus, congrats on coaching Pop Warner, but that has nothing to do with your ability or anyone's ability to just watch the games, man. If you watch this football team, you can't sit here and tell me they were well coached. And I don't know if Ulbrich solves everything. I think they have an energy problem, though. I think Saleh's body language and post games, they've been awful. You'd think a guy who knows he's got to win to keep his job would come out and be more fiery, like he was when he was the DC of the Niners. You know, and every time the Jets lose, Saleh talks about it being a long season. And when you win, you're going to the Super Bowl. When you lose, you're a loser. And the sky's falling and fire everyone. How about, instead of saying that after every loss, you say, you know what? It wasn't good enough today. We can't be losing at home to the Denver Broncos. We can't score 9 points at home. It's unacceptable. The penalties we had today, that can't happen. How about saying that? We're after this game in London, don't tell me about the fight in the second half. I don't want to hear it, man. I flew out to London and watched this bullshit in person. Don't tell me about the fight in the second half. How about show up in the first half for once? How many times did the Jets get outscored in the first quarter under this head coach? And I was willing to give it this year because he hasn't had the quarterback, but now he does, and it's the same problem. It might not work with Ulbrich, but you know what? I will try something else. And I actually give this owner credit for doing this rather than waiting. And the media, the people that cover the Jets, they could say, oh, how could you do this? It's not going to make a difference. Saleh didn't deserve to be fired. He's the one that's probably giving them their scoops, talking to them off the record, making their jobs easier. They don't care about the Jets like we do as fans. Beningo talks about this. He's right. Anyone who follows this team knows that the coaching was absolutely a problem here. And if you don't think it was, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm someone who was pretty patient with Robert Saleh. Didn't want him fired after last year. Didn't think it made sense. But you know what? Ulbrich's done a phenomenal job this year. This defense has remained elite with way less talent than they've had. All right, they gave up 16 points on Sunday. They gave up 3 against New England, 17 against the Titans, and 10 against Denver. And that's without Mosley, without Bryce Huff, without Jermaine since the first quarter of the Titans game. Sauce has been in and out of the lineup in 2 of these games. Michael Carter didn't play in the last game. You know what? Ulbrich holds guys on defense accountable. It's time for the offense to change. And I do believe Nathaniel Hackett will not be the play caller Monday night. Everyone wants Hackett out. I get it. He shouldn't be here. But you know what? If Rodgers wants him, fine. But he can't call the plays. And this is now on Aaron Rodgers. Let's go, man. That's why we have you. Let's go. This team's going to be fired up on Monday night. This fan base is going to be incredible Monday night. I know that. I know this fan base. Go win the game and be in first place and stick it to everybody. Let's go. This might not work, but you can't tell me this is somehow going to get worse. I mean, I'm sick of it, man. When do we get to win as fans? When do we get to win? It's time. This is the best fan base in the NFL. It is time for us to win. I need to hear from Sharif about his Pop Warner experience here. The Jets have a coaching problem. They're trying to be proactive and do something about it. Rather this than wait till you're 2-4 or 2-5, and then you fire the coach, and then what? You're going to have to tell me what exactly Robert Saleh does, right? Because we all thought, now with the quarterback, things would be tightened up. They'd start better. They'd go out there, and they wouldn't be as undisciplined as they've been. Nothing changed, man. That's why you do it now, because nothing changed. You could say it's too small of a sample size, but really, do we really think this is going to get better? Sharif, if you coach the Jets, they might actually be better than 2-3 with your Pop Warner experience. Jay Graves has gifted a membership. Michael has gifted a membership. That means we are just 13 away from the Jeff Ulbrich emoji. I'm bricked up, baby. Let's go. Ace of Spade. Ulbrich believes in Keith Carter as coach. If so, why? I don't know if we know that. He said there could be changes. Maybe there will be. Big fella says, Jake, I got game. AJ NJ is becoming bounty worthy. Yeah, he's annoying. Big fella, you give 10 memberships, we'll knock him out of the show right now. I've had enough. He's not even a Jets fan. Just spamming the chat with bullshit. I'm good. Jet West says, I played football once, therefore I'm an expert. It's true. You know, I one time had a catch with my dad in the backyard with a football, so I too am an expert. Story Lynn, Saleh sucks. No need to change the offensive coordinator and get a new offense. Newark stand up after the Broncos. He had to go bottom line. Yeah, how about this? You don't need to necessarily change the offense, but you know what you need to do? Change who's calling the plays. Because it's not working with Hackett. It's not. Doing the same stuff over and over again. It wasn't changing, man. It wasn't. Saleh's lucky he even lasted into his 4th season, if we're being honest. Not many people have 3 losing seasons and get a 4th year. He did. So he was on thin ice going into the year. And then you lost to Bo Nix and Sam Darnold back-to-back weeks, and you no-showed the Viking game after you had one of the most embarrassing losses over the last 15 years in that game against Denver. It is a disgrace they lost that game. A disgrace. I am more mad about that game than I am the Viking game. And I flew out to London to watch the Viking game in person. This fan base should not be losing to Bo Nix with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. Saleh had to go. He had to. I'm sorry. Bo Nix had negative yards at halftime and you lost the game. Enough is enough, man. He's not their only problem, but you better be proactive now. Better off being proactive now than waiting. You have no choice but to make this move. Audi's Pete is up next on the Gusbuster Hotline. Pete, what do you got for us?
What's up, Jake? How we feeling? We bricked up?
I'm bricked up, baby. Let's go. Let's go. You know what? Why not, man? People are going to clown the Jets no matter what they do. I think Ulbrich could actually be a hell of a coach, and they're going to win on Monday night. Let's go.
Yeah, you know, I got to work this morning. I'm waiting for the Devontae news. My buddy calls me. He's like, did we just fire Robert Saleh? Like, me and him are the Johnson brothers, you know? I'm like, I don't think so. And then I checked Twitter, and then all of a sudden, Saleh's gone. I throw on your show. Thanks for streaming all day. Kept me entertained. And it wasn't the news I was expecting. You know, I would have preferred Hackett to go. I'm kind of shocked that Hackett's still there. But, you know, it's necessary. You know, we're in an all-in year. The offense hasn't progressed in 3 to 4 years. I mean, you lose, like you said, we lose to the Broncos. Disgusted. Absolutely ruined my whole week. And then we lose to, you know, whatever the hell. The next
Vikings.
Game.
Yeah.
The Vikings, yeah. I mean, team just breaks your heart every week. Saleh, like you said, I like the guy. Thought he had a good character, good personality, but, you know, you need success in this business, and success is winning football games, and he just wasn't doing it. You know, a change is necessary. I like Jeff. I think the players like him. I think he's respected in the league, in the locker room, and hopefully, you know, this change comes with some success. So that's what I got. I hope the Devontae news breaks soon here. That would be an awesome addition to the day, and keep doing your thing. Appreciate all you do, Jake. Let's go to Vegas again. Next time they're over there.
I wish they played in Vegas every year. I'm with you. Big fella says, Bricked Up needs to make it to the merch store. You're right. We need a shirt with Jeff Ulbrich on it that says bricked up. Ladies and gentlemen, Cynthia has gifted another channel membership. We've added so far during the show 4 members. We needed 15 for a new emoji. Do the math. We're 11 away from the Ulbrich emoji being added for all channel members. I'm bricked up, baby. Let's go. Michael has gifted a channel membership. Let's go, Michael. 10 away. Aaron says, who's worse, Paul Hackett or Nathaniel Hackett? Yes. By the way, only the Jets can have 2 Hacketts. It's incredible. More calls right now. We're going down under for this next one. Grab your boomerangs. Craig's on the line. Hello, Craig.
Hey, mate. How you going?
Craig, I'd imagine when you woke up today, you were probably a little surprised.
You know what? I've been aiming to call in this week to say we cannot go one more game. We can't go to Buffalo with this idiot as head coach. That would be my goal. And I was feeling sicker and sicker as the week went by at the thought of a repeat of the last 2 games, because lose to Buffalo, we're a third of the way through the season with 2 wins. It's over. You know what I mean? So we now have a chance. So my feeling when I woke up and you were live was relief. You've got no idea, the most incredible relief. You know, when before the Denver game, I was all for the guy. After that, I thought I'm losing it with him. And then after the Vikings, I thought he's got to go now. Not after we lose to Buffalo. He's got to go now. And, mate, people shit on Woody Johnson. That took balls for him to do this and do it now.
He earned the name Woody Johnson today.
You got it. So I'm wrapped for him. Ulbrich, obviously a good choice. He's a hard ass. He's not going to be their friend. He's going to smack them around when they need it. You know, all these penalties, all this crap, all these rubbish decisions. The real question is, I assume now you are going to Monday Night Football.
Well, I haven't bought a ticket yet, but I guess I'm leaning towards it.
Oh, you're going. There's always tickets at MetLife. That's, I guess, one of the things about it. But you got to go, man, because this changes everything. Oh, look, it cannot make it any worse. You can't be worse than the guy. I was up at 2:30 in the morning screaming at my TV in a house full of sleeping kids when they went for it on 4th down, when they were making no progress in this game and they were 10-0, thinking, get the 3 points. You're not going to get this. You're not going to convert this 4th down. And guess what? Of course they didn't, because they were playing like crap. So anyway, I'm positive now. I feel good. I'm going to be in far, far north Queensland, so like going to Miami for this game. And I'll be watching it live Tuesday morning, my time. And I'm positive. I'm ready to go. I want to see you in the crowd. I know you're going to be there.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah,
Come
probably.
Have some of that Vegemite before you go. Thin layer.
You trying to kill me before I go watch the Jets? I mean, the Jets usually do that themselves, Craig. I don't need the Vegemite help.
Don't OD on it, whatever you do. Hey, when you were in the UK, did they show you this thing which is like related to Vegemite called Marmite? Did anyone try and force that on you? Did you hear about it?
I didn't hear about it. Nope.
It's pure poison. You can smell it across the room. It's so disgusting. And the Poms, as we call them, aren't super well known for like amazing food, as it is. But Marmite is an abomination to humanity and the culinary arts. So I'm glad no one tried to do that for you at any stage.
Yeah, that's good to know. I'm glad I avoided that. You know, it was honestly, London was incredible. I know you've been many times, Craig, but London was great. I really enjoyed it, and everything was great until the game. And you know what? I'll say this: if Jeff Ulbrich turns his franchise around and they go on a run now, which I think is capable with the talent they have,
it's possible.
The London game actually ages pretty well. It was the game that got Saleh fired. I was there, and now
if it's a
here we
turning
go.
point,
Let's go. Beat the Bills.
If it's the game we had to have. We've all supported Saleh right up until the Denver game, basically. You know, all these different reasons. No, it is him. And we can't be worse. There's no way we can be any worse at this point. We can definitely be better. So let's see what happens and see if you break the Devontae news this week while you're out.
Just probably going to happen tonight.
Hey, you're going to break some kind of streaming record for the day. I'm sure of it. You're not even giving Bobby a chance to have his show.
Craig, I appreciate it, man.
I'm sure he's fine. Mate, look after yourself. Be positive. Can't wait.
I love it. Hey, Craig, all we can do is be positive now, right? Everyone wanted Saleh fired. You got your wish. You got the guy you wanted to replace him. Everyone wanted Ulbrich. Let's go, man. Season ain't over. You're 2-3. The Niners are 2-3. The Bengals are 1-4. The Browns are 1-4. Like, there's a lot of mediocrity in the NFL right now. The Steelers were 3-0. Oh, well, they just lost 2 in a row. They don't look good. The division the Jets play in is not good this year. Miami doesn't have a quarterback. New England's rebuilding. Buffalo doesn't have nearly the amount of talent they once did. Let's go. I'm bricked up, baby. Terrence has gifted a membership. Jersey Jet has gifted a membership. Ladies and gentlemen, we're 4 away from getting bricked up altogether. Big fella says, cut the bounty on I Got Game to 5, and you got it. Deal. We'll get him out of this stream. You got a deal. I Got Game is a pain in the ass. He just wrote in Miami wants the Jets. The Jets would like to take on whoever Miami will have a quarterback by then. I guess it won't be Tim Boyle. How'd that work? I hope all you Dolphins fans have the worst season ever. Ever. I hope it's a nightmare for you. Every step of the way. Because all you guys were making fun of the Jets last year and the hell we went through. See ya. Ladies and gentlemen, the big fella just came through for the people. He just dropped a 5 spot of channel memberships. Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches. Yeah, baby. Green Bean in the house. He's gifting a membership, too. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the 5 from Big Fella. Me and my dog, Cynthia W., Mr. K, Joe M., Simple Eats. Green Bean's membership went to Jamel Haywood. But ladies and gentlemen, more importantly, it is time for an execution. It is time to do something that probably, if we're being honest, should have been done a very long time ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I Got Game is being sent to the realm for 24 hours. We will see you later, you bum.
Into the shadow realm you go. That's the problem with Aaron Rodgers. This guy is a cancer that's metastasized throughout the entire building in Florham Park. And I don't know why Jets fans can't see it.
Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
Needed to be done, folks. Needed to be done. Knob Deep has gifted a channel membership. Oh, baby. Knob Deep's membership went to Jose Duran. But wait, there's more. Now the memberships are flowing. I guess everyone hated I Got Game. Craig, down in Australia. Boom, a 5 spot of channel memberships. Welcome to all our new channel members. Enjoy the emojis, including
free stuff.
The brick emoji. Let's add it right now, baby. I'm bricked up. You're bricked up. We're all bricked up, baby. It's Chef Ulbrich time. Time to provide a spark. Here we go. I'm adding it right now. Ah, Gator. Image file must be smaller. Max 1 MB. Send me a new version of the file and I'll get it up right away if you're still watching. We have enough members, though, so as soon as Gator sends me the revised version of the excellent emoji he made, we will add it. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, William H. is on the line. What's up, William?
Jake, real quick. I realized my membership expired because I changed debit cards, so that's going to be fixed. Also, as promised, I'm going to give 10 memberships. Or
what was that, William? You cut out there.
You want to split it 50-50, blending.
Try and call back, William. Sorry. No one could hear a word you were saying. Mr. Weed is on the line. Hello, Mr. Weed.
Hello, Jake. How are you?
I'm good, Weed. What's going on?
Not much. I just got done coaching my 3-year-old nephew's soccer team, so I have some knowledge to drop on you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Everybody just needs to relax, all right? Let's wait till more than 7 hours after the team finds out they just lost their head coach to start jumping on people making bad decisions, all right? I think Ulbrich will do a good job. He kind of reminds me of a Dan Campbell kind of guy.
Are you bricked up?
I am absolutely bricked up, Jake. Absolutely. I can't wait. I think we're going to come in Monday. We're going to whoop Buffalo's ass. It's going to be a good time. Fuck everybody that has anything negative to say. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. Alan, you're a conehead, and you ran from Jake. You ran from Jake like a little scared kitty cat on Bobby's show. It was hilarious. That's it.
Weed, I appreciate what you brought to the show today, Weed. Great job. Luis writes in, Rodgers is a bum. Luis, here's what Aaron Rodgers is going to do to whatever team you support. I think that guy I know, right? We'll see you later. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. We've had a lot to discuss. If you've been living under a rock, Robert Saleh is no longer the Jet head coach. Here's how it sounded when I broke the news live on the air to Joe Beningo. Joe, I am not messing with you with what I'm about to say. Adam Schefter is reporting the Jets have just fired Robert Saleh.
Wow. Wow. Are you serious?
I swear to you, I am seeing it all over now. I don't know who the interim head coach is yet, but holy crap, Robert Saleh has been fired.
Well,
Costello just confirmed it. It is a done deal. Robert Saleh is out with a 2-3 record. You were right about Woody not standing for this team not winning with the talent they have, and it didn't need to go to 2-4. 2-3. Robert Saleh is out. I'm going to keep checking, Joe, in real time to see who the interim head coach is. But your initial reaction to this, Joe, I mean, this is stunning.
Again, I'm not that shocked. I mean, I thought he'd get this game. I got honestly, I knew he was in trouble because, like I said, Woody isn't going to. He's not look. Who knows how long we have Aaron Rodgers for? This is a win now team. This is a team that's got to win now. There is no tomorrow. There's no, we have another bad year this year. Where are we? We don't have a quarterback if Rodgers is done. Who's our quarterback going forward? I mean, we could go on and on. I'm stunned by the fact that it happens today and not after a loss to Buffalo, but I'm not shy. You knew this was coming. I a lot of people, even, Evan and Tiki yesterday, well, this doesn't really happen during the year. No, this is a different set of circumstances now. The guy's 20 and 36, and I'm not surprised he's gone.
It had to happen, man. It's not like any other situation. You have a 1-year window with Rodgers right now. We don't know about next year. You got to be all in. It's an all-in type of move. Get Devontae Adams now, Douglas. Let's go. I think he's going to be a Jet. I do. I think this trade either goes down tonight or tomorrow. I've said Tuesday or Wednesday this week. Let's get it done. Big fella. Jake Carly has to be the one who designs the bricked up shirt. She's very artistic and would do a great job. Yeah, I mean, 100%. She's awesome. I mean, you guys know the merch store, jakeasman.com. Check it out. No doubt. We will work on some bricked up merchandise. But I'm excited to announce that the Ulbrich emoji is now live for all Asmaniacs to use in the chat. Who's going to be the first one to hit the Ulbrich emoji? I might start selling bricks in the Jake Asman merch store if this guy's a good coach. Kyle Clifton writes in, Florio killing the Jets on the PFT homepage today, the worst. He hates the Jets. He hates Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers didn't get the vaccine. Let's call it for what it is. That's what it comes down to. I can't stand Florio's nonsense with the Jets. Can't stand it. He's a fool. But at the end of the day, you know how the Jets get the last laugh? They win. Rodgers plays well and they win. And I think they're in better. Look, they still have issues, right? Hackett's still here. Let's see what Ulbrich does with the play caller. I believe that it's going to be Downing. And Hackett will still be on the staff. But does anyone really think they were going to win with Robert Saleh at this point? It wasn't going to happen. So this gives you a better chance to win, and that's the only way to change your narrative. Abu Dhabi Jet fan. This gives us a chance to see what a good young coach who are already in the building can do in meaningful games. Yeah, look, Ulbrich's had an unbelievable opportunity. If he gets this team to win, he could be the head coach beyond this year. It's all right there in front of him. And great to meet Abu Dhabi Jet fan in London over the weekend. That's how great this fan base is. This guy came in from Abu Dhabi to root for the Jets. Today's Jake Asman Show is presented by CustomBourbonTours.com. That's right. Folks, you've heard me talk about Custom Bourbon Tours for a while now on the show. Come experience an unforgettable day on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail by going to CustomBourbonTours.com. On the website, you'll pick your own distilleries you want to visit, the vehicle you want to travel in. They have flexible zero-interest payment plans, and you could set up your private group outing in less than 4 minutes. CustomBourbonTours.com. Check it out. They have everything from sprinters, SUVs, and buses to choose from. This is easy to book, and it's a great, great service if you're thinking about maybe taking a vacation down to Kentucky to enjoy some bourbon. I know Jet fans love to drink. I know Jet fans probably love bourbon. CustomBourbonTours.com. And the best part, this company is a family-owned, Jet family-owned business. Liam, the founder, diehard Jet fan. So support Liam like you guys support me. CustomBourbonTours.com. More of your calls right now. The number one grinder is next. What's up, number one grinder? Unmute your mic, my friend.
Okay. I'm bricked up.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm bricked up.
Oh, let's go. I'm a big fan of J. Ulbrich. I'm a big fan. Let's go. You know, like I said, I don't care about Woody Johnson. It's got to happen. You know, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. Do I like Hackett? No, but I like what J. Ulbrich said. I want Hackett to go, but we know him and Rodgers had that thing. This is what I'm saying. I love it. Take the calls away from him. He let him stay on the sidelines and let Downey call the plays. I'm happy with that. That's all I want it. It was up to me. I want Hackett to go, and I want Carter to go too. I do, but hey, Hackett cannot call him up. No. Take it away from him.
Yeah.
Sit on the bench, okay? And you want to talk about Green Bay if you want, back in the days. You go. Take it away. So break up. Let's break up.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, grinder. I'm with you. I mean, are the Jets in better position to win today than they were at the start of the day? I'm sorry. I'm willing to try it. It wasn't getting any better with Saleh. It wasn't. We're fooling ourselves if we think now all of a sudden it's going to click and they're going to be disciplined and they're not going to have bad starts and the body language is good. He is what he is. He is what he is, man. And I like Robert Saleh a lot as a human being. I think he's a great guy. And I thought what Mekhi Becton posted earlier was clown shit, and I went off on it in the first show. It is what it is, man. He's a good guy. He's a good defensive coordinator. Wasn't a good head coach. Fine. Now let's go out there and let's win Monday night, and you're in first place. It could be done. This team's got too much talent, man. You had to do it now. You had to. I thought Woody wouldn't have the balls to do it until at least after the Buffalo game. He did. He earned the Woody Johnson name today. I'll tell you that much. Speaking of Woody Johnson, for those who missed it earlier, this was Woody Johnson's conference call with members of the Jets beat.
I think everybody's heard the news, and I just want my opening statement is that this is one of the most talented teams that has ever been assembled by the New York Jets. I wanted to give this team the most opportunity to win this season. I feel that we had to go in a different direction, and that's why I did that today. The change that we made today, that I made, I believe will bring new energy and positivity that will lead to more wins starting now. I want to say, which I've said earlier to some of the members of the leadership team that represents the players, how proud I am of this team, this specific team this year, and excited about what could happen and what will happen, particularly given these changes that we've made today. So, as I don't know if this has been reported, but we've taken the defensive coach, Jeff Ulbrich, and made him the interim head coach. I've seen him coach, and I know the relationship he has with the players, and they respect him. They trust him. I've seen it at halftime, and I've seen it in practice. When he talks, they listen to him in a way that probably represents the fact that he did play the sport as linebacker for 10 years, which is pretty unique. So he brings that knowledge and the respect and the knowledge to the game in a way that I think will be very good for the players going forward. And so with that, I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Ambassador Johnson. At this time, we will begin the Q&A portion of our call. As a reminder, please press *3 on your telephone to be added to the queue. When your line is unmuted, please state your name and organization before asking your question. Brian, your line is open.
Woody, what specifically did you feel like Robert Saleh wasn't getting done that you felt you had to make this change?
Brian, as I just stated, when I take a look at this team, and I've been doing this for 25 years now. This is probably the best team I've had in 25 years. I just felt that the best way to go forward is with a new direction, and taking Jeff Ulbrich and making him the interim head coach. I thought that would get the most out of this team and give us the best chance that we all want to have, which is going to the playoffs.
Rich, your line is now open.
Woody, Rich Samini from ESPN. I'm
hey,
curious.
Rich.
Hi, Woody. What, if any, input did Aaron have in this? Did you discuss it with him before making the decision? If you could maybe discuss that a little bit.
Well, I did talk to him the night before, but we didn't discuss this, specifically at all. I mean, we were basically talking about the previous game and, his breaking 60,000 yard record and accomplishing that. And sorry, he got hit so many times, and how was he feeling? And so, no, in terms of whether I was going to do it or not, no, we didn't discuss that.
Your line is now open.
Woody, it's Tom Rock from Newsday. How are you?
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good, good. I'm just curious about the timing of this and why, if it was such a short leash for Robert now that you didn't make this decision at the end of last season.
Well, we didn't have this team last season, but we've got an unbelievable team, as I said earlier, and it just felt like the right decision to make at this time. So I made the decision to do it now. It's something, Tom, when you make a decision like this, it's not an easy decision. This required a lot of soul searching and, looking back at my experience in sports and particularly with the New York Jets for 25 years. And so I took it very seriously. And that's why I made the decision, because I thought and think that it's going to make us more competitive, and it's going to help us reach the goals that the team and I want to accomplish.
It just seems.
Mark Cannizzaro, your line is open.
Hey, Woody. I have
two
questions.
How are you?
Yep. Good.
Two questions. The first of which, most of your struggles have been on offense, and obviously we know that Robert's built a pretty good defensive, backbone to this team since he's been here. So I think a lot of the Jet fans' question is, how is this move going to help your offense, which has clearly been the issue? That's my first question. My second question is, just as a follow, is there seems to be a perception that you are very influenced by, your fans' frustration and anger, and I'm curious, what your take is on that.
Right. Well, that's the media, trying to get a story, because, you know how that works. How do we improve the offense? I think one of the reasons that I decided to make a coaching change at the highest level here is exactly that. We need to find ways to win. And so we're not going to do it. We're not going to find those ways by doing the same thing over and over and over. So I think that Jeff is going to add something. He's going to add a spark of positivity and all that goes with somebody, and the trust that the players have in somebody that's been through it, and they know, and that they respect, and they know that's reciprocal. And those changes that we have to make on offense, we'll make. We're going to make them on offense, and we're going to make it on defense. We're going to try to get better. And so this is a new opportunity for all of us. And so that's why I decided to do that today.
Mike Garafolo, your line is open.
Hey, Woody. Did you consult with Joe Douglas on this decision?
Joe Douglas and I, hi Mike, how you doing? I did talk to Joe Douglas about it, but in the end of the day, this was my decision, and my decision alone. And, I've had enough experience doing these things. It's the first time I've done it this early, but I thought, once again, I thought and think that this will help the team, help this talented team achieve the goals that the team wants, and that I want, and the fans want.
Connor, your line is now open.
Hey, Woody, this is Connor Hughes with SNY. I know you mentioned specifically the offense there, that the changes you're going to make on offense, you're going to make on offense. But specifically, what are you going to do to ignite that group? Or are you considering changes on the offensive side of the ball? And then as a second quick question, how would you assess the job that Nathaniel Hackett has done as your offensive coordinator the last 2 years, and specifically this year?
Okay, well, I think we're going to make changes wherever changes are due. We know where we're weak and where we're strong, and so do you. You can see it every week, and so we are going to make the changes that enable us to give these fabulous players on both sides of the ball the chance to win. And we know that we have to make some improvements and changes here. That is sure. And Jeff, although I haven't had a chance to talk to him too much today because he's quickly morphing into being the head coach, which is a pretty sizable transition for him, which I think he's more than capable of handling, by the way. And so, offense has been, certainly, it's been a challenge, more than a challenge. And I think it's something that I'm sure he'll be focusing on.
We'll take a few more questions. Brian, your line is open.
Nope, Brian, your line is closed. I'm back, baby. That's enough, Woody Johnson. You got the gist of it. One answer I will play for those tuning in late. This was Woody being asked about Hassan Reddick.
Hi, Woody. Please indulge me for one more. And I'm going to go a little bit off base here with apologies, but what is your take on why the Hassan Reddick situation has not worked out?
Rich, I would rely on you for this. This is something I've never seen before, and you've got even more years than I have. And I know I don't think any of us have seen anything like this. So I think you have to be part psychologist and part some other just, to try to figure out what is actually going on. I think, I hope that the young man can come to the team. We'd like to have Assam here. We'd welcome him with open arms. And, I will extend that. And I haven't talked to Jeff, but I think he would feel exactly the same way. So when he gets here, he'll find a very welcome locker room and he'll be able to fit right in, but he's got to get here first. So, Assam, get in your car, drive down 95 and come to the New York Jets, and we can meet you and give you an escort right into the building, and you'll fit right in, and you're going to love it here, and you're going to feel welcome, and you're going to accomplish great things.
At no point did he say we're going to pay you what you want, though, which is what all this is about. I wouldn't count on Reddick being anywhere near this team. Now, Woody Johnson did send a letter to season ticket holders today. I have obtained the letter. I will read it to all of you. Dear season ticket holder, especially you, Peter Castro, and Neil. He didn't say that. I added that. I want to thank you for your passion and loyalty to the New York Jets. We all believe there is more talent and skill on this team than we have displayed to this point. As a result of this, I have informed Robert Saleh he will no longer serve as our head coach. I thanked him for his hard work and dedication, as well as his contributions to this team, and wished him and his family well moving forward. This is one of the most difficult decisions to make in this business. Jeff Ulbrich will serve as our interim head coach for the remainder of the season. I believe Coach Ulbrich, who played in the league for 10 years, has the respect of coaches and players on this team. While stability in this organization, especially in leadership positions, is one of our priorities, I believe that it is best for our team to move forward with Jeff Ulbrich as our interim head coach. I believe he is best equipped to take advantage of the quality of team we have now and the staff we have in place. We all viewed the season as a year we would strongly contend for a playoff berth. Under Jeff's stewardship, I believe we can achieve this. On behalf of the entire organization, thank you for your continued support, passion, and commitment. P.S. See you at L5 to tailgate Monday night. Regards, Robert Wood Johnson. So there you have it. Season ticket holders getting that. Look, at the end of the day, the only way this move will be judged now is based on how they respond. Do they win? Or do they not? That's all it really comes down to. I'm bricked up, baby. Let's go. I mean, we're rooting for Ulbrich now. He's got a great opportunity. M. Lopez, he is a tough coach who has the respect of the coaches and players on this team. I think Woody's making it clear what he thinks Saleh is lacking. I agree. I think Saleh was starting to lose the leaders of the team. That's why this happened now. Sco, how about the Mets? 2-1, one more to go. Hey, good for the Mets. 7-2 win today over the Phillies. Citi Field was buzzing. Alonso, a huge home run. One more away. I have a funny feeling, though, this is going back to Philadelphia, though, don't you? Probably not. Ferris says, Saleh called the plays. Ulbrich was Saleh's water boy. Okay, Frank, or Ferris, it's fitting you have a stupid name because you might be a very stupid person.
Just shut the fuck up. I did not ask for the dim opinion that came out of your ass, so shut the fuck up.
Bobby was on hold, but then he dropped out, so there's a little Bobby midnight for you. Now, Jeff Ulbrich was calling the plays on defense since 2022. Sal is a really good defensive coach. He hired a terrific defensive staff. It wasn't enough, though. It didn't overcome for the other issues that plague this team when you're the head coach. It's more than just being good on defense. It's funny. Colin Cowherd ripped the Jets. He's like, you fired your most competent coach. No, the most competent coach on the staff is actually now the interim head coach. Let's see how he does. Matthias is next on the hotline today. What's up, Matthias? You're on the Gusbuster hotline. What do you got for us?
So, Jake, I guess according to Sharif, if you played Pop Warner middle school football, you have a lot of NFL experience and you know what you're talking about and you know what goes on. That makes sense. Yeah, because I played football in middle school. halfway through the season, and I guess I have all the NFL experience to know that Robert Saleh was the guy who really made the Jets relevant and took the Jets to where they need to go. Absolute brain. I couldn't even believe that call. That really just melted my brain as I was listening to that. So I appreciate you just going off and just firing off on that. But that being said, we all know this needs to happen, Jake. Saleh was not the guy. I wanted him fired 2 years ago. He literally, this is a guy, he was a good defensive coordinator. I'm not going to take that away from him. But some coordinators are not meant to be head coaches, and that was Robert Saleh. You saw it in the team. There was zero motivation within these players, especially when you have your all-pro and Hall of Fame quarterback go out and just call him out like that and say, this is not the guy. Rodgers, when he was saying how, to change the cadence, maybe it's time to hold some accountability. Quincy Williams also acknowledging that accountability needs to happen. And Robert Saleh was not the guy to provide that. I'm fired up with Ulbrich, Jake. I think it's time. I think this should have been done even after the Denver game, because I was that pissed off along with you and other Jets fans, how they lost 10-9 in that disgraceful performance. So when I saw that Vikings game in London in the first half, when the Jets were down by 15, this needed to be done. I'm sick and tired of it. You're sick and tired of it. We're all sick and tired of it. This team is way too talented. This team has way too much talent on this roster to be where they are. I'm confident in Ulbrich, Jake. I really am. A change is necessary. I'm not saying, though, that Hackett and Keith Carter are also not on the hot seat, because they are. So it's time will tell. We got to see how they're going to be now when Woody Johnson laid down the hammer and said, listen, this is unacceptable. We're not going to be putting up with this as a franchise. So if you guys are not on your P's and Q's, you got to go too. I'm tired of it, Jake. I really am. It was good talking to you guys. Let's go. Jet the hell up and brick up. Let's go.
Brick up, baby. Here's what I need every Jet fan to do right now. If you're on Instagram, if you're on Twitter, hashtag brick up, baby. Let's go. Tag at Jake Asman, at Jake Asman Show. Let's get it trending. Let's go, man. Everyone already thinks we're a dysfunctional joke, this team, this, that. Like, Jets got better today, man. I'm sorry. It's so funny. Everyone says Robert Saleh is the 32nd ranked head coach in the league. He's not any good. Then the Jets fire him, and now you have all these people being, how could they do this? So you can't win with these people. The only way you can win is to win. And they have a better opportunity, I believe, to win Monday night than they did before 10 a.m. today. Brick up, man. Thomas Roseman is gifted a channel membership. He's bricked up. Gangan Sai is the recipient of the membership. More of your calls right now. Doug in his room joins us. Hello, Doug.
Jake, you don't know this, but I was a flag football coach at a summer camp for many years. So that means I know as much about Sharif that this was the right decision.
Oh, yeah? Well, in college, I once beat my freshman roommate in Madden 18 straight times. So I know just as much football as anyone.
On top of that, in college, I was a flag football ref. So, like, I got to say, knowing with all my football experience and being a coach and a ref, this was indeed the right decision. Despite what Sharif thought, this was actually the right decision. I think, like I said it earlier today, every Jets fan, I think, thought if we lost on Monday, it was going to happen. So we shouldn't be no one's surprised it happened. I think we're just surprised it happened now. And watch, what's going to happen is you're going to go off the live stream, and then boom, Devontae Adams is going to be a Jet. That's what's going to happen. But no, I think the vibes are a lot different. And I agree with you. I think Downing's going to end up being the play caller, and Hackett will do what he did in Green Bay. He'll set up the red zone plays like he did for LaFleur. So he still has a role in it, but Downing will be calling the plays, and they need to fire what's his face? Keith Carter into the sun. Get rid of him. Hire somebody else. I don't care who it is. The guy cannot coach. If you ever heard Taylor Lewan talk about him, Taylor Lewan thinks he's the worst person ever based on the way he coaches.
Correct.
So he needs to be fired into the sun. The sun might not even be enough. He needs to be fired into Pluto. He is the worst. He just needs to be gone forever. But it's hard not to feel good about this going into Monday night now with them making the change. You got the nice sick throwbacks. You get the new coach, interim coach bump that everyone loves. It's hard not to feel good about that. And you had the clip in the Senior Bowl, and Ulbrich. I think it might not always work with former players, but it's working great with the Lions and Dan Campbell. So he has the respect of the locker room because he knows what it's like to play in the league. He run that defense great. I can't see it as this is the right move at the right time.
We'll see how they do, man. It can't be any worse from a coaching standpoint, Doug. I'm with you. Brick up. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a guy in the chat under the name Frederick Matthews. You'll notice the first name starts with an F. The last name starts with an M. This is FM under a burner account. For those new to the show, FM is a longtime troll. He was banned many years ago. We put a bounty on his head, Sean Payton style, and guess what? One of our listeners came through. So FM, welcome back. Momentarily, of course, because you're going right back to the realm for life, you bum.
I'm glad to be in Asman's shadow realm.
Into the shadow realm you go.
Aaron Rodgers is a glutton for fame. I don't think he loves his teammates. I think he loves attention.
GFY. First word is go, and the last word is yourself. Boom.
Forever Ron has gifted a channel membership. It went to listener Oscar the Grouch. Now, that is a good one. M. Gelati with a super chat. I want to get you drunk and talk about the possibility of Belichick or whole staff sucks. I won't bring it up again. It will never happen. And also, Bill Belichick without Tom Brady has a worse winning percentage than Rex Ryan. I'd rather hire Rex than Belichick. Sorry, I don't want that scoundrel as this team's head coach. I'd rather win without him. You're not winning with him either. Alan writes in, today should be renamed Alan Vindication Day. Actually, no, it should not be.
I'm glad to be in Asman's shadow realm.
Into the shadow realm you go.
Aaron Rodgers is a glutton for fame. I don't think he loves his teammates. I think he loves attention.
GFY. First word is go, and the last word is yourself. Boom.
What a show. What a show. What a time. I'm having some issues with my computer right now. They froze. All the shadow roaming. So I have no access to the calls. Stand by right now. I have to enter StreamYard through my phone and manually do this. Stand by. Now there's two of me. This happened on the first show. Stand by. Hold on. I have to do a quick adjustment here. Let's see. I need to switch the brands. This is a major pain. Hold on. This is what happens when the Jet head coach gets fired on a Tuesday and StreamYard can't handle this many people. Let's reset real quick. Here's Ulbrich on offensive changes.
Jeff, Woody was talking to us a little bit ago about changes potentially, just changes in general for the offense. I was wondering if you could talk at all about your plans for the play caller, because you have Todd there who's done it. You have Nate who has been doing it. Do you know who's going to call plays for you?
I've got tremendous respect for this offensive staff. I do. Every single guy on it. In the next couple days, in my opinion, these guys are going to be here on Monday Night Football for us, and they're gonna do an amazing job. Saying that, this has been 4 hours fresh for me to take this role on. Everything will be assessed, the process, the responsibilities, etc. But I do not foresee any changes in the staff.
He's not going to fire Hackett, but I don't believe Hackett will be the play caller on Monday Night Football. I don't. Now, it's been reported that Saleh actually stripped Hackett of play calling duties in a staff meeting this morning before he was actually then fired by Woody Johnson. I'm telling you, man. Change is happening. Change is happening. Can't be any worse. All right, 2 more calls. Rob, the Jet fans next. Hello, Rob.
Yeah, hello. I mean, Jake, I mean,
you good?
The only thing that I have issue with is let's brick up. Let's give this guy a chance, of course. But it's like people, for whatever reason, have like hearing disabilities. First of all, that jackass Allen, okay, calling me a clown. This effing wussy. He's got the nerve. Guy goes AWOL for over a month. And then all of a sudden he comes back after to point the finger. I told you. But you know what? I called in to you after the London game, and I said to you, if this continues, I'll lead the march to fire Saleh, and you can get JJ on the phone and Allen, and I'll apologize. Did I not say that?
JJ joins us now. Hello, JJ.
Yeah, here you are, buddy.
You
JJ,
ask and you shall receive.
I said that, JJ.
No, honestly, I didn't really want an apology. Like, at the end of the day, I didn't want Robert Saleh to get fired. I didn't want Robert Saleh to get fired, though. I just wanted him to be a better head coach. Like,
me too.
All my criticism of him was I just wanted him to be a better head coach, and I wanted the fan base to hold him accountable and stop giving him excuse after excuse. Yes, we didn't have a quarterback, but that has nothing to do with the penalties and the unpreparedness, and the personnel decision.
I
so
agree.
I'm not happy. He got fired.
JJ, hold up a second. What I disagree with is this. All I said, and so did Jake, that we were okay with Saleh possibly doing one more game just because of the success that the Jets have had playing against Buffalo. We seem to always beat this team, split with this team the last couple of years with Zach Wilson, okay? So we were willing to give him just one more game. I'm totally fine with them doing it today. I'm okay with it. I have no problems with it whatsoever. If this sparks the Jets, I'm happy. But you know what? You still have Hackett, which that guy's got to be stripped of making any play calls. And the thing that I have that bugs me more than anything is Keith Carter. You saw the film from that guy Baldy, and all the offensive players were going in different directions. So they obviously do not know what they're doing. I can't live with Keith Carter one more day because as far as Hackett, we could always push him to the side and not make him make calls. But I'm worried with Keith Carter. Let's get this guy fired today and go get Davante Adams. Stop the bullshit, JD, or you should be fired too because you got to go and get Davante. Let me ask you a question, JJ. If we have Davante, are we not 4-1 today? Yes or no?
So here's the thing. And you guys are going to disagree with me with my opinion on this, but I don't think so because how many more? It's just with the. Here's the thing with Robert Saleh. We give him excuse after excuse after excuse. It's like, oh, well, if he had this, if he had a quarterback. Now it's if he had Davante Adams. And nothing about this O-line tells me that they would be able to protect better and Aaron Rodgers would be able to get the ball to Davante Adams. And let me tell you something. Garrett Wilson. Yeah, but Garrett Wilson looked really good. Garrett Wilson went for 100.
Warning. Allen alert. Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning. Allen alert. Hide the children.
How's Lazard catching the ball? How's he looking?
Allen, welcome into this the meeting
Hey,
of
Aaron,
minds. But
if you tuned in when Jake got back from London, I told Jake, you know what? Get JJ and Allen on the next show, and I'll apologize for the way Saleh's been playing. Yes, it's true. I said maybe one more game because of the way the Jets have been the last 2 years against Buffalo. We won with Zach Wilson. That was the only reason why I said that, but I'm totally fine with them firing him.
I will say this.
And
I will say this about Allen, though.
Okay? I will say
this about Allen. Allen, I will say this about you. You man, you're better than me. Your mental toughness is good because, hey, after San Francisco, if I were you, I would have called in after San Francisco, which I did, and said fire him since then. And you waited in the bushes, peeking, got it on other shows, waiting for your moment. And then next thing I know, I seen you sent 10 memberships today as soon as the news broke. So that means you've been watching. You've been watching because you were right. You were right there. Right?
Alan, are you really a real Jet fan?
Jets, Jets.
Or
I
do
am.
you really the Jets lose them? Be honest. Because it doesn't
No,
seem like
I am a real Jets fan. I've been a Jets fan for 42 years. And I've watched bullshit for 42 years. And I knew when this guy made the receipts comment 2.5 years ago, when he had not won shit, that's when he lost me.
Jets, Jets.
Let him talk, Jake. Jake, let him talk.
Jets.
And he has proven to me over the last 3+ years, or what is it, 56 games, that he was a clown. He tried to buddy with the media, and there was no accountability. And I'm glad it took a guy like Quincy Williams to open his mouth and speak his mind and say enough is enough. And
I want to add this real quick, Alan. I do want to add this. I think if you guys look at the Giants, right, and the Giants continuously go out there and they put up effort, and Brian Dable is what a good head coach looks like, and that's a team that you're like, they're a quarterback away. I never felt like we were a quarterback away because I always would say, even if we get a quarterback, we're undisciplined and he doesn't hold anybody accountable. And you look at Brian Dable's coach teams and people mess up and they get right off the field. With us, you could jump off sides, rough the passer. How many times do we see roughing the passer calls and nothing happens to these guys? I'm sorry to interject.
They're not being held accountable. And you know
Rob,
what? I'm okay. Hold up, Alan. I'm okay with Brick going the whole rest of the year. And if he brings us to the playoffs and we win a game or two, I'm okay with riding it out with him. But you know what? If he doesn't, then I want Vrabel next year. I don't want to hear
I said it all last year.
I don't want to hear no mention of Bill Belichick because that's like selling my soul to the fucking devil. Because if he
I'll take Vrabel or Ben Johnson. I like Ben Johnson. I know you guys don't want him.
you
guys don't want Ben Johnson.
I want Ben Johnson. He's not coming here. He will never come here. He wants to come.
I hate this team. I hate them. I hate them.
Tell me that
Rob,
any of you guys would take Bill Belichick. Tell me if any of you guys would take Bill Belichick.
No, that ship is sailed. I think he's going to be in Dallas next year anyhow.
Thank you.
But
because it would be a win for me.
As far as Saleh is concerned, whether it was game 15 or game 30 or game 45 or game 56, every press conference was exactly the same. Every excuse in the world, whether it was the rain or whether it was this or whether it was that, same bullshit, different day.
Can I say this though? Can I say this? I went and I watched Ulbrich's press conference and I got fired up. That's a man who knows how to command a room, and he wasn't just talking out of his ass and just saying things just to say things. And I don't know if he's going to be a good head coach or not, but just from that first press conference, night and day from what we had to deal with Saleh versus what he was doing.
You know what, JJ Keith Carter is still there and Hackett is still there, and I have an issue with that, especially Keith Carter. You saw the offensive line running like mice. You can't tell me, Alan, that you're good with Keith Carter being our offensive line coach.
I'm good with Aaron Rodgers running the show, and Aaron Rodgers lost all faith in this head coach. When the head coach is throwing him under the bus when it comes to the hard counts,
the cadence,
he's saying to himself, who the fuck is this guy? This guy hasn't won shit. Why is he opening his mouth? Okay. All I know about Robert Saleh is his last game in San Francisco, the team was up 10 in the Super Bowl, and they gave up 21 straight points. He got here.
The rest of the defensive coordinators that have joined San Francisco have done just as good as Robert Saleh. And let's be honest with you, like we're overrating our defense because once again, when we need to stop, hey, let's go. We need to stop here. They give up a field goal. They give up a touchdown.
Well, let's be honest. He'll get a job being a defensive coordinator. A lot of teams will hire him. He's just not a head coach. That's that.
Again, I use
the head coach, and he might be an overrated defensive coordinator because, like I said, you look at San Francisco, they haven't dropped off since he's gone. Their defense hasn't fell apart since he left. D'Amico Ryan goes in there. They look good. The guy who they fired last year.
He arrived, JJ. Our defense was crap before he arrived, and he put us at least on the records of being a good defensive coordinator. He's a good defensive coordinator. You're right.
He's a good defensive coordinator, but our defense, you can admit our defense is a little. He's a good defensive coordinator, but you can admit our defense is a little overrated. When we need to get a play, if you don't give up a touchdown to Bo Nix, we win that game. If you don't give up that field goal, all right, well, who knows? Greg Zuerlein has to make a kick, but that we're only down by 3 instead of being down by 6 if our defense gets a stop. So when our defense really needs to get a stop, they don't. And then, so I don't know. I'm not saying like he's a bad coach. He's a terrible head coach. He might be a good defensive coordinator. I think even then, if you look at San Francisco, they've gone to D'Amico Ryans, they've gone to other people, and they've still had defensive success. All I know is we got Ulbrich now, so it's time for us to be. I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna be positive. I will say though, Woody Johnson is smart because what he did, right, is he fired him now, and now he has an. Now Woody Johnson has an excuse because if all fails and the season's a failure, well, at least he can say, all right, well, we fired the head coach. We tried Jeff Ulbrich. It didn't work. Now we can come back. I think he did it at the perfect time.
People are mad at him.
Good luck, coach. We love you.
I love you too, Jeremy. You look mighty cute in those jeans, brother.
People are mad at him, but Woody is doing everything to try to win. People got to stop pounding on him because he is trying to win. What I don't agree with is when he rises ticket prices. That's ridiculous. But he is trying to win.
He's trying to win.
My vote is Vrabel. I want Vrabel next year. That's who I want.
Robert Saleh. I'm right there with you, but I don't want to even think about Vrabel because once again, I'm not a negative Jets fan like you guys paint me out to be. I just thought Saleh was a bad head coach. With that being said, I have full faith in Jeff Ulbrich until he proves me wrong. Right now, I'm an Ulbrich fan. I'm an Ulbrich truther. Until he proves me wrong, I'm gonna root like heck for Ulbrich to get us to the playoffs.
Jets, 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 Jets.
That was beautiful, gentlemen. That is what this show is all about. Rob, JJ, and Alan all on the same page. This fan base is back, baby. Brick up. Let's go. In Jeff Ulbrich, we trust. We have no choice. Win on Monday night. We're in first place. Think about that. What a great moment. My favorite moment was Rob being like, let Alan talk. Oh, how things changed in 8 hours. Amazing. Let's go, baby. Smash that like button. Calls today were great. Super chats were awesome. The Beningo interview is officially the most viewed video I've ever posted from the Jet Show, the Jake Asman Show. Record. 47,000 people. A nearly 5-hour stream. We're 2.5 hours here. Shout out to the New York Post and Awful Announcing for covering the Beningo interview, by the way. Jake, your show was written up in the New York Post. Thank you, Johnny. I got tagged in it earlier. Pretty wild. All right, a few super chats here, and then we'll start to wind down. M. Lopez, watching Hard Knocks again is cringe. I agree, Saleh was nice, but that doesn't characterize our city as much. I like Rob, but I like the Jets more. All gas, no brakes. I mean, look, Saleh's slogan was all gas, no brakes, but he didn't coach with that mentality. He didn't act that way at the podium on the sideline. Like, in theory, it made sense, but he didn't handle himself that way. You know? I wish Robert Saleh well. I think he's a great dude. I think he's going to be a defensive coordinator. Hopefully it's not for Miami. Hopefully it's for a team in the NFC. Thomas writes in with a super chat. Bricked up Jet fan since 74. Season ticket holder, 35 years. Let's go, man. Be there Monday night. Building's going to be up for grabs. People can clown the Jets all they want. The reality is they're 2-3. They're a win away from being in first place against a team they had beat in that building the last 2 years. Now let's get Devontae. Look, I've done about 7 hours of streaming today, almost 8. I'd be happy to do another 2 or 3 or whatever if they get Devontae Adams tonight. That's the next step for this franchise. Also, before we kind of wrap everything up here, I did have one more thing I wanted to play from this head coach. So Saleh was nice enough to send me this video for his final message to the fan base.
Look, guys, I don't know how else to say this. Fact of the matter is the team has almost no chance to win this week unless you click on the like button. Also, be sure you're subscribed to the Jake Asman Show. Let's do this. Go Jets.
I want to thank Coach Saleh for being classy in his exit and being willing to do that. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. All right? Where else are you finding a YouTube channel that's giving you 8 hours of live Jets coverage on the day they fire their head coach on a Tuesday morning? Subscribe, baby. Let's go. We're almost at 40K. Let's get there. Best fan base in sports. You guys are awesome. I want to thank everyone who tuned in today. If there's a Devontae trade tonight, we'll go live. Be ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Ulbrich is now the team's head coach. Brick up. In honor of Robert Saleh no longer being the head coach, let's throw it back to maybe the most memorable press conference Saleh ever had as the Jet head coach. Have a good night, everybody. Brick up.
Hey, Robert, thanks for taking my question. With Zach starting again Sunday, does he have any compromising photos of you or someone else in the organization?
No, it's a fair question, Jake. I'm going to take the 5th on that one.
What the hell is this going backwards bullshit? You don't go backwards. You throw the ball out of bounds with your big goddamn arm, and you go back in the fucking huddle.
No, it's a fair question, Neil.
This is bullshit.
Jose Feliciano, the blind Puerto Rican guitarist, can see that he is terrible.
This kid does not want to run with the ball.
Are you kidding me? This is the shit I'm talking about. You bitch's ass. You did his ass on my damn field.
No, it's a fair question, King.
The third damn year we are seeing this in Naptown.
He's not trying to win the goddamn game.
You gotta be kidding me. Send his ass the fuck down.
I could have made 20 yards with that goddamn hole.
If your quarterback cannot play in the NFL, they get rid of him.
Oh, there's one of his 27 seconds. Oh, it's amazing. I don't give a shit.
If you cannot play football, get your ass off the field.
And walk around and wipe Rodgers' ass because that's all you're good for.
And you're sitting here defending this bullshit.
If I see Zach Wilson go on that field, me and Lowski are going on personally, and we're going to take his ass off the field.
It is torture, man.
God damn it.
All right, thanks, guys.